about their money, and they don't really do anything to kind of manage it or be smart with it.
How did the dream SMP experience go? And do you wish it had gone differently? Is there anybody you genuinely like or dislike after it?
Hey, welcome to the Create Unknown, the home of Make Something Mean Something. I am Kevin Lieber. With me, as always, is Matthew Tabor, joining us live on Discord with our patrons in the chat. Yes, it is the president-elect Schlatt.
Hey guys,
welcome, Schlatt.
How you guys doing?
Welcome,
It's
President
me,
Schlatt.
President-elect Jay Schlatt.
What happened with your campaign?
Oh,
you know, I see that this Biden guy apparently won, and not
well,
you. I don't understand.
That Biden guy, he's just been a thorn in my side for years now. Look, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, fellas. The whole campaign thing was just a way to sell shirts. Okay.
What?
Yeah, it was just a way to make a fuck ton of money, and then surprise, it worked. And I did wind up getting verified because of it. Somehow they actually thought that I was like a legitimate presidential candidate, and so they verified me. And then once I started spouting all this nonsense that I was the one who had actually won the election, and and the fact that it was coming from a verified account on Twitter.com, I think they pulled the plug on that real quick.
They pulled the plug on your verification?
They did, yeah. The account just unfollowed me. I didn't get an email like no, it was like, hey, just so you know, this is why we're removing your verification or anything like that. They just kind of removed it.
Matt, what was the name of the presidential candidate that had the boot on his head? Do you know who I'm talking about?
Vermin Supreme.
Yeah, Vermin Supreme.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was ever verified.
Oh, I don't know. He should be.
He's definitely on Twitter though, because I got into a Twitter fight with him once over.
You got into a Twitter fight with the Vermin Supreme?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. It wasn't bad. I mean, because Vermin Supreme doesn't actually fight with anybody.
No,
he
fights
just does back and forth.
gingivitis.
He's not verified. That's what our chat has come up with, is that Vermin Supreme is not verified on Twitter.
It's
but
a shame.
did we nuke this episode already by discussing alternative election results? Is YouTube going to take this down?
Oh, yeah, we're going to be deleted. Yeah.
I think we've just become the bad boys of the podcast world, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone rogue already.
Conspiracy.
So now that you've done a full campaign, what would you do? What will you do differently in 2024?
Well, I'll definitely have to change the name of the merch that I'm selling to update the new year. But other than that, I think I ran it quite perfectly. You know, I think as the third option in a presidential race where, I mean, let's be real, no one wanted to vote for either of those fucking guys, you know? I think it kind of works. And I don't think America's getting any better. So who knows? Next election cycle, we'll probably have two even worse people. And then I'll be like, just be over here in my own corner, getting verified and unverified again, screaming about how I won, and just selling a bunch of shirts again. So.
Did you have any campaign promises, or was it just buy my shirt?
I think ban women was one of them.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that's controversial.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it was rather tongue in cheek, kind of like Vermin Supreme, but yeah, there's no telling what I'd actually do if I won.
What's the big secret that you'd pull on everybody? Let's say you win, you get in office. What bomb do you drop in the first 100 days?
I probably would ban them.
Makes.
I probably would ban them. I'd just get rid of them. But that would see the thing is, if I'm trying to sell merch in another 4 years, then, you know, it's probably not the best idea because women do most of the online shopping, you know.
What is the gender makeup of
it's
your
like 90-10 male.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's 90-10 male. But yeah, sometimes I look at the Shopify orders and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of women here. I don't know.
The chat linked us to the Schlatt2020.com Schlatt for President official website. Yeah. It's incredible. There is this splash page of this GIF of you with some sort of
a
pistol
Glock 18,
with like an extended
Glock 18
clip.
extendo. Yeah, man. We had
A lot of money.
Oh.
You're writing an eagle.
dude, that's such great art, and they animated it too. It looks fantastic. I'm so happy with how that came out.
Now, what is the 1%, by the way?
Oh, the one
When
the
you
1%?
ask people, to join the 1%, what is your 1%?
Well, it's not too different from any other 1% that they talk about. You know that guy Bernie Sanders?
Yeah.
You know, he goes on about how the 1% holds like all the wealth and nobody else even has like $5. That's what I'm talking about. You know, like if you have all my merch is priced just so exorbitantly high. So if you have the money to purchase it and don it on your body, then you probably are part of the 1%.
So since they have all the money, that's who you're marketing to
Mhm.
because they can afford
Yeah.
your
Yeah, exactly.
sweatshirts and hats.
It's like how Lamborghini doesn't like put commercials on TV because they're no one who can afford a Lamborghini is watching TV. You know,
They don't even know what TV
No, they
is.
don't.
They have some endless form
they
of
listen to
entertainment that's
shortwave radio.
light
They
years
listen
ahead.
to Report of the Week on shortwave.
And then they email
heard
with
a
their
thing-
feedback, right?
I email the Report of the Week with my location.
It's a massive doxing operation. That's all Report of the Week is
Yeah.
doing is just collecting doxes for everybody.
I heard about, speaking of cars that we can never afford, or maybe you can with your 1% money, Schlatt, that if you buy a Ferrari, you're put on a list. You're on like the Ferrari list, and you are not allowed to sell that Ferrari within some sort of time period. I think it's 3 years, or maybe even 5 years. And if you do, you're never allowed to buy. You're off the list.
Wow.
You can never buy a Ferrari again. You're banned from Ferrari.
Damn, dude.
Yes.
Resellers are shaking in their boots right now.
You can't flip a Ferrari.
Damn, fuck.
In case you
Well,
were
what are you
trying
gonna
to do that.
once you graduate from flipping Yeezys? What are you gonna do next, dude? I didn't know that list existed. I know Captain Sparkles when he bought his Ford GT, like that fucking supercar that he keeps in his garage. He had to get like approved for it. He had to send in an application, and Ford was like, "Yeah, you're cool enough to buy this car." Apparently, you can only get it if you're like super rich or like have some huge following.
A Ford GT?
Yeah, it's like this shit that you just see in Need for Speed. Like I didn't think I'd ever see one in real life.
Oh, I'm looking it up. It's insane.
Yeah, Ford GT supercar, Captain Sparkles, that Minecraft money, dude.
Yeah, mining those diamonds.
Captain Sparkles is like fucking narcissist, bro. We showed up to his house early this year, I think. It was in January. We wanted to know where because we were doing this whole shoot week thing for a group we had made, and we were chilling in a house in Hollywood Hills, this nice big house, and we were like, oh well, Jordan's in the area, we might as well try to link up with him and film some stuff, and we go to Jordan. I DM him, or Carson DMs him, and he goes, well, what's your address, man? We want to come over and shoot some stuff. And he goes, just Google it.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
because apparently he had all these articles written about him about where he lives. So he's like, yeah, just fucking Google it. And so we Googled where he lived, and then we rolled up and we went inside. He let us inside. And dude, it was fucking 95 degrees in his house. And he shows up in
What?
like, yeah, this huge fucking mansion. Everything's white and tidy. Like there's nothing on the house is immaculate. He shows up in a black shirt and black sweatpants, and it is a fucking like greenhouse. It was like the most rich person thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was so fucking hot in his house, and he was just
Why is
sitting
that
there.
a rich person
Well,
thing?
I mean,
Why
well,
would you
no
want
one-
it to be 100
Well,
degrees?
no one else.
It's called air
Kevin,
conditioning.
no one else is gonna. I know this man has air conditioning in his house. I know for a fact he does. But, oh, dude, no one else keeps their house that hot, and except unless you are this egomaniac rich person, and that's nothing against. Oh yeah.
How is it a flex? I don't understand
He's
the
heating.
logic.
He's overheating just because he can.
Just
Is that a real
because he
theory here?
can.
Why'd he stop at 95 then?
I don't know.
Why not hit triple digits?
Could have been a little hotter than that. But the second I stepped in, I just immediately started sweating. You know, he had
Do you
his.
think he
It
does
was
that
hotter
year-round?
inside the house than outside.
It was hotter inside.
What?
It was hotter inside than it was
What?
outside. Because his house is all glass too. You know, it literally was a greenhouse.
Oh, okay.
Sounds that way.
Yeah. So yeah, then
I'm wondering if this is some sort of like sauna thing, like a health
Maybe
thing,
it
like some
is.
sort of LA guru thing where you're like just sweat out the toxins.
maybe it is,
man.
but
Like,
I had never heard of it. I mean,
maybe it's that.
usually if you want a sauna, you go to a sauna and you have that room that's hot, not the whole house. But again, it just supports my theory that it's some rich person shit. You can turn your whole house into a sauna. Dude, it's the fucking Minecraft money. And then he took us into his garage.
Yeah, but he was nice enough to let you
He
over.
was nice enough.
He was nice enough
nice
to,
enough to
right?
invite us
right?
in.
That was nice of him. He could have just said, "Leave me alone."
He could have. He very
Go
well
away.
could have just said that. But it does. It gets worse. It gets worse, guys, because he was like, "Yeah, let's go to the garage," and we go into the garage, and it's a little cooler in there. This is where he stores his fucking supercars, and the Ford GT is in there, and it's one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't let me touch it or anything. And so right next to the Ford GT that's sitting in the garage is a framed photo of a picture of the Ford GT in the garage.
That's pretty meta.
The dude literally took a picture of the Ford GT sitting in his garage, printed it out, and then put it up on the wall.
Oh man, why stop there? Just do a mural.
Yeah,
Just
as if he
just do a
forgot.
whole wall mural.
As if he forgot what it looked like. The picture of the car was on the wall. And
Wasn't there some cartoon that did this, like Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Wasn't there
I
some
don't know.
cartoon where they had a painting of the exact living
That's so
room
funny,
on
dude.
the wall?
He saw no problem with it. He was like, "Yeah, that's just that's the picture of the car, and that's the car."
That's a flex.
It is. It really is. Apparently, there was some group of YouTubers, like old school YouTubers, that would every weekend would just drive their cars places. Did you guys know about that?
Like a street club? No. Who was in
I
this
think Captain Sparkles
Fast
was
and
part
the
of
Furious
it. I think
club?
Steven Suptic might have been a part of it before he crashed his fucking Jaguar.
Yeah, the chat is supporting
Yeah.
you on that last bit of information.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat on this one.
I don't know who else was in it, but
How did all these people know about it? And this is the first that we're hearing of it.
I don't know. It's just some LA rich people thing. I'm telling you.
I'm trying to find out how much the Ford GT costs. It looks like it starts at $500,000. It starts at $500,000. Yeah.
That's a good amount of
Wow.
money.
For a
Oh yeah,
car.
we've got all the links here.
Hey, let me get a soda.
the
I'll be right
chat.
back.
Yeah, everybody knew
Okay.
knew about this except us. So Kevin, who are you? Who's in your gang? Now, first of all, it can't be a car. What's the vehicle of choice for you? And it has to have at least one wheel or a system of tracks. Like if you wanted a tank gang, you could have it.
System
So,
of tracks.
It's got to have one wheel. Kevin's starting a gang here.
Oh,
Yeah, like the car gang, but cooler. So he's got to choose a type of vehicle and then a couple people who are in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't think of. I will tell you that there was a thing when I was living in Portland. Scooter gangs were a really big
the
thing.
limes.
Like the
Um,
Vespas, like the Italian ones.
Yeah, kind of like the motorized bicycle, kind of like
Okay.
crappy Vespa, sort of. Yeah, like those kind of
the app
scooters.
scooters.
You'd get like an old
like the
one.
app that people just dump on the side of city streets.
No. Like a scooter that like an old person would use to get
Oh,
around.
shit,
Not
okay.
not like those ones that you just not like that you like rent. You drive. You scoot from one
Dude, I
location in the
hate
city
those
to the
so
other.
much. I hate those so much.
This was before those even existed. So
okay.
somebody put in the chat. There's a website called Things About Portland That Suck, and number 43 is scooter gangs. I'm telling you that's a thing. That's a thing in Portland. Yeah, these people would drive around these
That's
scooter gangs.
crazy.
I don't have a my gang would be the couch gang.
You know, put wheels on a
Just-
couch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty
That's
relaxing.
viable. So who's on the couch with you? That's my question, though.
Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
it's totally viable to put 6 wheels on a couch. That's fine. But
Yeah.
there are a few seats. So who's on your couch? You need to choose 2 people to fill this couch out.
Like YouTubers or
Yes.
family members or what?
No, nobody wants to hear about your cousin. They've got to be YouTubers, not
Maybe
like
my
cousin Eddie.
does. Shout out to cousin Eddie. I wish I had a cousin Eddie. That would be a cool cousin. Gosh, yeah, I don't know. The default would be Michael and Jake. Obviously, that's a boring answer too, though.
Yeah, sauce couches.
Sauce couch.
I would have.
That's
I would have.
obvious.
I mean, honestly, I would have said Michael as well. Just that fucking. Oh my god, I could listen to that guy talk forever.
Is he in the front of the couch or the back or the middle?
What the fuck do you mean the front of the couch?
Well, look,
the
I
fuck
mean,
does that
okay,
mean?
well, okay, this is valid. This is valid. So I was thinking that the couch would go like lengthwise, like a car.
What?
But
And then
if you're
everybody's
going,
just looking to the left.
yes, yeah, like a bus. So you're saying it goes the other way, horizontal,
course.
and everybody's like in the breeze.
Everybody's
Okay.
looking at where they're
Okay.
driving, bro.
I thought
That
it would
makes
be
no
lengthwise. You have
sense.
one driver.
The fuck kind of bus do you ride in that it goes sideways, dude?
like a human couchipede. That's what I'm thinking of.
That's fucked. You have
Human
no idea what you
couchipede.
are. See, this is what happens when you become a YouTuber. You just lose. You just
That's a-
lose all touch with reality. You think buses go sideways and shit. Fucking rich people, dude. You know better than Captain Sparkles.
Oh man.
One
Yeah.
drop of clout, and then you just lose touch.
It's terrible. It really is. Yeah. No, I'm with you on how the couch would go. Would go forward.
It
as you were
definitely
saying.
would go
That's
forward.
what I was thinking.
Definitely would
Yeah,
go
not
forward.
zooming sideways down the street.
Or I mean, if you want to
Jeez.
if you want to do the sideways thing, what would be fun would just be to like ride it up on the sidewalk, and then once you pass someone, you real quick like flip the recliner out and just fucking clothesline them.
Like when car doors take out cyclists.
Yeah, exactly.
How did we get to this?
I don't know. I don't know where we are.
I don't
Well,
know.
this
We were
is-
talking about Captain Sparkle's car, and then you asked Kevin if he wanted to make a gang of some kind of vehicle, and then fucking
Oh, yeah.
couches, and then you chimed in with, yeah, well, the couch is going sideways. Fucking idiot.
You know who would be good? A good member of my gang is Eggy, because
Yeah.
you need like a party member, and Eggy would be the party
Who the
member.
hell is Eggy?
for sure.
Egg White?
Eggy's a streamer
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's awesome.
I'm not
and a rapper.
not much of a streamer anymore.
Do you remember years ago there was a video, I think called, was it called "Take the Black Pill"? And the guy was in his car, talking about kind of chads and genetics and this and that.
Is this
Did you ever see
the
that?
report of the week? Does he have like a fucking baconator in his hands as he's talking about it?
No, but it was similar. Like, you know, just guy sitting in a car reviewing things, and what he was reviewing was like the state of getting girlfriends and things like that. Well, that really kind of got Eggy YouTube famous, and that was years ago. He's ditched that completely, and now he just has a ball, man. He goes wild. He's always having fun. Like he is a party guy in the best possible way. And he bit through his phone during one of the streams a couple weeks ago. That was kind of wild.
That's always good. That's always good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Who would I have on my couch? I mean, I'm not too much of a partier, I gotta say. I mean, especially now that everybody's at home doing nothing, you know. I feel like there's very few people I actually watch. I think the only two I'd say that the only two YouTubers, because I'm sure you guys can attest, if you're doing YouTube, the last thing you want to really do to relax is watch YouTube. So like,
Yeah.
you know, if I'm
Really, anything on the computer for me is hard to do.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
know how people work on the computer all day and then play PC games.
Yeah.
Like I'll play video
Yes.
games, but it has to be on the console because I have to get away
that's
from
fair.
the computer.
That's totally fair. I'll be watching a YouTube video and I'll be like, yeah, you know, I should check my stats or something like that. And I'm like, no, I really shouldn't because that's work. and then I'm trying to enjoy myself. But yeah, I mean, the only two people I watch on YouTube are Scott the Waz and Fit MC, as he talks about 2B2T, the oldest anarchy Minecraft server. Those are two boring picks for who I'd want on my driving movable couch, though. I don't know.
Did you have a running mate, by the way,
Oh,
in your
no,
campaign?
I definitely didn't. I was a one-man show.
Well, why? I mean, who would be on the short list for running mate?
I don't know. I mean, you got to think he's got to be
can't have a
clouded
pure
up. He's
dictatorship.
got to be clouded up. This has got to be someone who fits an audience that I don't have any access to. So maybe someone, right? Because you have to. It's all about just acquiring more votes. And so I would be
strategic positioning.
Exactly. So I'd be hard pressed to find someone like. I feel like I don't want to find somebody in my circles that I'd want to run with, you know. So honestly, I might have to say someone like James Charles. Not that I think he'd say
up
yes.
in the chat.
Not that I think he'd say yes, but I mean, if I had to go with
Ben
anyone,
said
it's him.
this. Ben said James Charles is the pick about 30 seconds before you dropped it.
Jeez.
So he's pumped about that. Yeah. The other chat suggestions were Connor Eats Pants and Scott the Waz. Ludwig came up a couple
Great
times
guys,
as well.
love all those guys. But again, it's like too much. I swap spit with all their people. You know, it's like
Sure. You need to tap that other demographic.
Exactly.
The sisters.
I need the sisters. Like I said, man, I'm 90-10 male female on my YouTube videos, so I need that demographic.
You got the
shift.
boys down. You're okay with
I got
the boys.
I got the boys.
Speaking of boys, what's going on with you and the boys? Because you seem like you have this click. Like when you look up your name, it's a lot of collabs. It's with you and Carson.
Oh yeah, we have a group
there's
channel.
a lot of stuff.
I mean, we had a group channel.
So you have the lunch
We did have
club,
the
right?
lunch club, which has kind of fizzled out because of the pandemic and stuff like that. Which is a shame.
Who else was a part of that? Is Quackity in
Quackity
that?
wasn't.
And
Quackity is a close friend, though. Lunch club was.
Ted was in that, wasn't he?
Who?
Ted.
Ted was a part of that. Ted Nivison. We had Slimesicle, Sea Scoop, Traves, and Hugbox were all in there. And yeah, I do tend to do some collabs. I mean, I'm all over Twitch still, even though I haven't streamed in a while. You know, I think it's important. If I want to keep that door open, I have to kind of be on shows and be on people's streams and stuff, just to stay relevant and in the Twitch meta. You know.
why'd you stop streaming?
I stopped because I didn't really enjoy it. There were certain things about streaming that I was kind of like, well, I mean, I'd have a lot more fun, and I feel like I'd be able to make a lot better content if I just filmed this offline and I wrote down some ideas. And so, for example, yesterday I uploaded a video where I was ranking cereals, and I threw them all in.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah, I threw them all in a tier list.
We have questions about that.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Well, I'm down to answer any cereal related questions. It's a topic I care a lot about, actually. And so,
Hopefully you're prepared because
you got
these questions.
You got some opinions here for me.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
controversy.
Yeah, man.
We did some tiers, and that's cool. It's a lot of fun. We had a good time with it. However, the one that really had fights was the cereal tier list.
Dude, tier
Fast
lists-
food was close. Like, yeah, there were a couple there, but cereal had wild disagreements sometimes.
Everybody has some fucking experience with cereals that just strongly influences what their thing is. Like I said the first thing I said with Cheerios when in the video was that no one has any bad memories with Cheerios, and I received hundreds of comments of people being like, well, actually I was in the car with my brother and he threw up Cheerios all over me, so I hate them now. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess you don't like Cheerios. I mean, fuck.
Cheerios gave me a black
for
eye.
real. The fucking Cheerios.
Seventh
Cheerios
grade.
fucked my girlfriend. Who knows?
Cheerios gave me a black eye in the 7th grade, and they blamed it on my dad, and they took him away, and he went to jail. You're like, oh my god.
But yeah, for that video, I planned out a lot of what I wanted to say, and I think it came out a lot better. Had had it just been me sitting on a live stream with some, fucking lo-fi playing in the background, and they were cuts, and the lo-fi just cut with each cut, and it was just like, I don't know. There's something about live stream highlights I just don't think translates over into a good YouTube viewing experience. And if I'm gonna, YouTube is my platform, man. Like I feel like streaming was just something I'm good at. I feel like my heart is in YouTube content creation and actually making a video from start to finish. And so in that case, I'm just, having a lot more fun doing YouTube. And, Twitch, obviously, I'm forfeiting a lot of income from that, but I just talk about Raid Shadow Legends for 2 seconds, and then it's all okay.
The great equalizer.
Exactly. The shitty fucking mobile games, man. They got a lot of money to spend.
Wang loves Raid Shadow Legends, though. Like, he legitimately enjoys Raid Shadow Legends and talks about it with some frequency.
The thing is, a lot of the mobile games aren't bad at all. Like, I still have some of the... you have to, like, play the games to get footage for it in some cases. And,
Right.
And so, like, there's certain games that I still have on my phone. I have Battle Cats on my phone. I have AFK Arena. I have, Frag Pro Shooter. Like, a lot of the games turn out to be not too bad. And it's especially cool when I see comments on a video that plugs a mobile game, and people are like, "Oh, this is awesome! Like, I fucking love Battle Cats." I got a lot of comments of people who had played Battle Cats in the past and were like, "Oh shit, I actually really like this game," and that's cool to see. Obviously, you're not going to get the same reaction with Raid, but yeah, Raid is tolerable. Like, it's a decent game, Just so happens that all these studios have fuck you money to splurge on YouTubers.
What amazes me about Raid is, if that game existed when I was like 12 years old, like the graphics of that game, it's free. I mean, I know that you have to pay to it. It has that like pay to play model or whatever to get better champions or what freemium. Yeah, whatever it is, you got to give them money to do whatever you want. But you can still play it for free.
Yeah, of course.
That is amazing. That's like a weird thing that, we're so spoiled by the amount of options that we have today. This is my old man tirade. But like back in my day, okay, let me tell you what it was like back in my day. Back in my day, we had the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and you'd get one game a year, maybe two.
Yeah, shut up.
If it was like a good
Don't
Christmas
uninstall
or
Flappy
something.
Bird.
Yeah, your Uncle Danny gets you Back to the Future Part 1, 2, and 3, and it's the worst game you've ever played, and that's all you have.
You have
for the rest for the next like 6 months at least, maybe 9 months, depending on where your birthday lines up as it relates to Christmas. And you have no other choice. That's it. That's the game.
You rented games,
that game
though.
sucks.
Didn't you rent games on the weekends sometimes?
You could rent games. Yeah, but then you play it for a couple days and you got to bring it back.
Yeah.
I know nothing of this
It's a good option, though.
No, don't.
I really don't.
Going on Friday to the video store to pick out an NES game to rent for the weekend was one of the highlights. That was good.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
What fucking year was this?
That would have been like 90 to 92-ish.
Jesus. How old are you guys?
Let's talk
pushing.
cereal.
Yeah, let's.
Old enough to know that you're wrong about half of these on your tier list.
Fair enough. Let's see what you got. What part of the cereal tier list upset you?
Well, as soon as you drop this,
let me guess, Raisin Bran
in the Discord
because you're old. Fucking you. What do you like?
Colon
What do you
blow,
like?
fiber cereal. Well, our overall champion was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you've only got it at B tier.
Okay,
and I think that was the initial gripe.
Very easy explanation for this. Okay. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a great cereal. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but there's a better option available, and that is French Toast Crunch. You guys ever tried that?
I haven't.
I didn't expect you to.
I have. I don't. Why is it better?
Because it's just a better tasting cereal. It's a better tasting cereal. It doesn't cut the roof of your mouth. The fuck are you talking about? It tastes like maple syrup. It's delicious. And there's no residue. If you just shovel the fucking shit out of the box like I usually do, instead of just eating it with a spoon like a normal person, like I said, Like I'm a fucking caveman, dude. I just eat
Residue
fucking cereal out of
is
the box.
a feature.
Yeah, what residue?
Residue is a feature, not a bug.
What the
when
fuck
it comes
you
to
mean?
cereals,
What do
you
mean?
want
What the fuck do you mean? What residue?
you want a slimy reminder
What?
of the experience.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Listen,
Yes, you do.
I eat cereal when
It's
I'm
a good rule in
multitasking.
life.
I'm fucking editing when I'm eating cereal out of the box. I need no residue. I be scooping that shit. All right.
What
When
is
I'm-
the residue?
How
Just
does
the
the
stuff on
you
your hands?
You cannot work with residue on your fingers. And Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the fucking number one suspect when it comes to getting residue.
What? How does Quisp make A tier? That's
Okay.
another.
Wait, have you
That's another
wait,
one
have
that
you
came
had
up.
Quisp before?
I don't think so.
So why are you even asking?
I don't.
Why are you asking what the
Yeah, well,
ranking
isn't
of
it
Quisp if
incredibly
you've never
boring?
had Quisp before?
There's the O's
listen,
in S tier.
I gotta
There's
give you I
Quisp,
gotta
like,
give you
there's
the
some
rest. I gotta
boring,
give you the
bad
rest.
cereals that are very
I
high.
haven't finished my fucking explanation about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right, you're
Okay.
getting me off topic. French Toast Crunch is better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so it has to be lower. Cinnamon Toast Crunch has to be lower than French Toast Crunch, right?
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
When it comes to maple syrup cereals, though, like French Toast Crunch, there's a better option than French Toast Crunch, and that's the Eggo cereal, which is just like immaculate. That is the best tasting cereal I've ever had. And so that means that French Toast Crunch has to be lower than Eggo on the tier list. So if you do the simple fucking math, Tabber, you get the fact that Cinnamon Toast Crunch has to be B. That is the
Tabber.
highest it can go.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
it's just a logic game at this point. So how does
Tabor?
how does Reese's
Tabor? I don't
Puffs-
give a fuck. Reese's Puffs is fucking candy,
how's that
dude.
so low? Yeah, why wouldn't that make it high? I mean, how do you put that at C?
Because I
when
feel
it's,
like shit whenever
Like
I eat it.
objectively a good experience.
It's not a good experience.
but
you
you
don't
feel
eat Reese's
amazing
Puffs and then go,
when you eat
I'm
Crunch Berries?
ready to have a good day. You don't.
You feel good
I
about
feel
yourself. You don't have
great
a blood
about
sugar
myself
issue
when I
when you
eat
jam Crunch Berries in your
I feel
face.
great about myself. I feel terrible when I eat all berries. Oops, all berries. Fuck you. Because that's like Reese's Puffs. That's just fucking gluttony. You're eating oops all berries. It's disgusting. I really miss waffle
I think
crisp,
we had
though.
Trix high too.
Fuck
Our people
Trix.
voted
oh
Trix
my
really
God.
high.
Trix sucks.
And I didn't.
I'm
get
not a
that.
big fan of Trix. That was our patrons like Trix.
Trix is a disgusting,
Yeah,
disgusting
I didn't-
cereal.
I don't know why there's so much love for Trix, but it was really high. Like I think it was in the final vote for the best cereal.
What?
And I kind of at a certain point you just step back and realize that sometimes your community is monstrous, you know, and you have to let that play out. And that was one of those points where it's like, yeah, I don't understand anything about what's happening right now, but if they want Trix, they want Trix. Thank God it didn't win, but I think it got second.
I want to say two things really quick here. One is that I've never had Eggo cereal, so I Googled it. And when you Google Eggo cereal, a picture of John Riggs comes up. And if anyone who doesn't know who John Riggs is, he does YouTube, he does gaming videos, but he's obsessed with cereal. Schlatt, do you
I
know
have no
John
idea
Riggs?
who it is.
Okay, if you're a cereal guy, then you're gonna have to look up John Riggs because he is like the cereal
He's the
guy.
cereal guy?
And the fact, dude, you Google Eggo cereal and a picture with his face shows up. What?
Really?
I mean, come on, that's amazing. Yeah.
I see a
Um,
thumbnail where there's he's holding a box of Morning Summit, which looks like
oh
some
my God.
granola kind
I
of
see
thing,
him.
and it says worth $13. Like, I'm just intrigued on how he's getting cereal value to that degree.
I see him.
Like, why he's pumped about a $13 cereal.
He's
Look,
obsessed with
sometimes
cereal. He's the cereal
sometimes it's
guy.
hard to get cereal. Sometimes it's hard to, you don't see it on the shelf. You got to buy it on Amazon for like $10. I mean, that's the deal with Quisp. It's never never on the shelves. Never find Quisp anywhere.
Wait. So then my second question has to do with residue. I want to talk about
Sure.
residue. So residue is the stuff on your hands, you're
Yeah.
saying. It leaves
So
a
like
mess when you eat it with your hands.
residue
Okay.
is the sugar that's left over when you shovel Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of the box.
Okay,
that's
so
the shit that
how
gets
do you
left
feel
on the
then
fingers.
how do you feel about things like Cheetos?
I don't eat Cheetos
or Doritos.
I don't eat Doritos.
None
No,
of none of
I
those
prefer-
snacks because those are so much worse.
If I'm eating Doritos, I'm eating Cool Ranch, which leaves rather little amounts of residue in comparison to the
look,
original.
I'm sensing some inconsistency, and I don't like
No,
it.
no.
Okay.
I don't think I know what you're talking
look,
about.
we need to hold you to account
Sure.
here because you've got a problem with finger residue, right? You don't like it to the point where you don't eat Cheetos.
Yeah.
How did you open this recording today eating the #1 finger residue food in the United States, meaning wings? You were eating wings, you had blue cheese, you had a blue cheese disaster, and then you come on 43 minutes later and have a problem. Oh, I don't do finger residue. This is the bullshit lie.
I got one
that
word
happens
for you.
when you get involved in the campaign.
Shut up. I got one word for you. One word. Fork.
Were they
Fork?
boneless? Were they boneless, or did you
Boneless.
eat a bone?
They're
in
basically
the fork?
chicken tenders.
Okay.
Oh, tendies.
Fork.
Okay. Why didn't you specify boneless wings when
Because
you,
I didn't want to seem
when
like
you
a
started
pussy.
talking about wings?
Yeah, those
That's
aren't
right.
even
Yeah.
wings.
You
Come
see,
on.
Kevin, I knew that if we pushed on this, if we pushed just the right spot hard enough, we would get him to break.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying
Uh.
I'm a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination. I have flaws. I've done despicable things, you know. But this is one thing I'm gonna stand strong on. I mean, I think boneless wings are a decent alternative to regular wings if you're in a bind and you need something to be quick and you relatively residue free because you eat them with a fork. If you look at my tier list, if
yeah.
you look at my tier list of all the cereals, you'll see that I mean most of the cereals I like are just completely residueless. Sure, you'll get a little bit of sugar on your hands, maybe, but like,
They're fairly clean. Yeah.
they're fairly clean. Fuck, man, I can't deal with Cinnamon Toast Crunch's residue, and I mean that has to have been in the back of my head, subconsciously as I decided to give it a B. I was just like, that is when you're talking about cereal residue, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is literally the first thing you think of.
It's S tier residue.
Definitely, if we're making a residue tier list, that's fucking S tier.
Isaac had a really good suggestion in the chat about cereal liquid tier list, because that's a completely different thing. Like, you can have a mediocre cereal that leaves a really good liquid after,
Yeah.
and probably vice versa.
That's true.
And that would be interesting. Nobody's done this one, and I think somebody should.
It's not a bad idea at all, to be honest. I mean, most people would go with like a chocolatey cereal, I imagine, like Cocoa Puffs, I guess. But I don't know. I don't really like drinking chocolate milk in the morning out of a bowl. Is that just me?
Don't they sell this now? Isn't this a thing where they'll? Am I wrong? Where there is like cereal milk that you can buy? It's just the milk, and it's
There's
flavored
definitely a
like
flavor. God, is it like a Fruity Pebbles milk or something?
That sounds nasty.
Because that has Fruity Pebbles milk is famous for being kind of what it is. There's nothing quite like it, and I'm fairly sure that's a flavor of milk. Fruity
Pebbles
milk.
All right, I looked it up. This does exist, or at least it did, and maybe it went out of business. But I see Frosted Flake cereal milk,
Yeah.
Cinnamon Crunch cereal milk, and some sort of peanut butter cereal milk. I don't know if it still exists, but it did at one point. I wonder if you just chug it.
That's gross, dude.
I think you'd sip it
I don't
like whiskey.
Am I the only person that pours a reasonable amount of milk into the bowl and doesn't go overboard with it? Like I'm not sitting here with a full bowl of milk afterwards that I have to like pick the bowl up with my hands and sip it. That just seems like a waste.
Are you refilling it? Are you putting more milk in it constantly?
No. I mean, typically what I'll do is I'll start with the cereal, right? And then I'll pour some milk in. And then if I need more, I'll pour more milk in. But like, I'm not a guy who wastes milk. And that's good. That's like some good calcium and vitamin D that you're throwing away if you leave some in the bowl.
Do you
Well,
think
you could also just drink it?
Yeah, I know, but sometimes my tummy doesn't like it.
Well, we were talking in the chat. This must have been last week, I think, about different rates of lactose toleration worldwide.
Yeah.
And North America, Europe is decent with milk compared to most of the places above and below it. Asia's not great with milk either. So how do
I stack up?
how do you really? Yeah, I mean, what's it feel like to talk about milk in a way that just alienates all of South America, all of Asia, most of Africa? Do you even
Well,
care?
look, I don't.
Central
I don't
America.
really give a shit at all, to be honest. That's not where my viewers come from.
Well, we're trying to flesh out foreign policy here.
That's true, but you know,
this is the closest we can get.
America first. That's what I always say.
When it comes to milk and cereal, that's a subtle way of showing it, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, I mean, I sometimes I'm not straight up lactose intolerant. Like, I want to say 95% of the time I consume dairy products, I am fine. But there is always like that one time every now and then where I drink a little too much milk and I'm like, you know, something's not too right here, you know.
Isn't cereal in general a very, like, the cereal variety is a very American thing, isn't it? Isn't there some meme where cereal in England is just like there's one option and it's just
like Weetabix,
bales of hay?
Yeah, you pour lukewarm water on your biscuits of Weetabix.
Yeah, fuck.
Weetabix.
So boring. So boring. I couldn't imagine.
Horrible.
I couldn't imagine living in such a terrible place.
Yeah,
You just have beans.
I've eaten a fair bit of Weetabix. Imagine a kitchen sponge. You know how, like a sponge that you'd have at the kitchen sink. It's soft when it's brand new out of the package. You use it a while, but then when it dries out after it's been wet, and it's like weirdly light but still hard as rock.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's basically what Weetabix is.
You're not
compressed. It looks like sawdust compressed into a patty.
You're not really hyping up Weetabix here. I hate to say it. I mean, you're not making me too excited to try it.
I don't own stock in Weetabix.
Fuck, fair enough.
You're not the Flavor Flav of Weetabix. You're the hype man.
I'm not defending them on a tier list.
You've got a big Weetabix.
Well, I mean, you said that you've had a lot of Weetabix in your life, so I figured, you know, this could fucking might
I
like
did,
it.
but those were different days.
Fair enough.
You know, we live differently in our early 20s than we do later on. And sometimes we make different choices.
That's true.
About what to eat, what not to eat. Circumstances change.
Eating ramen and all that.
Yes.
I had ramen earlier today. I cooked up ramen and I sat there thinking to myself, why am I eating ramen? I dropped
Oh, it's good.
I dropped out of college and I make buku bucks, you know? It's like, what am I doing? What am I doing with all this sodium intake? I don't need it.
You could add things to ramen to make it pretty good, though. You put an egg in there.
Fuck, I thought you just had to eat the noodles.
Yeah. No. No. Throw it. Indulge. Live the high life. Become the luxurious,
the brick.
rich slat that you are. And just crack an egg in there, man.
I just open it out of the package. I just.
Yeah, put some green onions in there. I don't know. Spice it up.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not much of a cook.
Sesame seeds.
I'm not much of a cook. I don't have much prowess, and it sucks because I'm moving soon. And I'm going to be on my own, and I don't have any fucking cooking chops.
You're going to be those YouTubers who just talk about Uber Eats on Twitter
I
all day.
Will.
Just complain about
tweet
Uber
at them
Eats.
publicly. Hey, Uber Eats, second time this week, my dasher has run away with my order. What happened?
You're gonna become that guy.
I don't want to be that guy, but I fear I might become him. Unless I.
This is the last time. This is
the last straw, Uber Eats.
Never again.
Dude, I'm gonna have to start coming up with some recipes, some easy like chicken recipes, just so I don't spend that much money. I Uber Eats these wings that I'm eating right now, and I spent like $33 on one platter, and I'm like, well, I probably shouldn't. Yeah, it was like, what was it, like 20 something wings? Plate of 20 boneless wings.
That's a lot of wings.
And they're small though. That's the thing. They're fucking small. I eat them in one bite.
Oh, yeah, if they're bite sized like that, 20 is not a great value for not. 30 some dollars. But no, that's the choice you make though. You have it you have the food delivered, you pay the premium, or you get a few recipes under your belt.
You pay the convenience fee, man.
I want to get back to your career, Schlatt, before we run out of time talking about cereal residue.
Of course.
I want to ask you about getting your I watched this video about you being canceled right before we started recording,
Oh,
and
yeah,
it was going through
which one?
all of the people who hate you.
We
I
shouldn't
don't
even
know.
we shouldn't even
what's
be
going
talking
on?
to you.
Yeah.
It puts our reputations on the line.
We're gonna be
Yeah,
canceled.
you're racist
by
by
proxy.
by association. I don't know. I mean, which canceling are you talking about? I tend to farm the Twitter threads these days. I don't even try anymore.
How does it happen?
I don't
I
know
don't
how
even
it
know how many
happens.
there have been.
I really don't know how it happens for the most part because I keep Twitter like I just don't see any notifications from people I don't follow and like I don't go out of my way. The thing is with a lot of creators, they will go out of their way to search their name and to figure out exactly what people say about them. And like, dude, like when I was starting to grow for the first time, and like I would search Schlatt on Twitter, and it'd be this really cool thing because people were just starting to talk about me, you know? People were just starting to like recognize me and this was like it was cool to have people talking about me on Twitter. But it just fuck you do that long enough and then eventually you start seeing only negative shit being talked about. And that's the thing I think a lot of content creators they have this problem where they can't stop looking at all the negative shit that people say about them, and they just I don't know, it just feels like such a downward spiral. Do you guys check your indirects as they're called? Do you search like Kevin Lieber or Matthew Tabor?
I
You
don't.
don't?
No, but nobody is that interested in.
Yeah,
us. I
that's
mean,
fair.
it's you have to reach a certain level of. I mean, how many Twitter followers do you have? 1.5 million, something
I have
like
a
that.
lot. I
It's a
do have
lot.
a lot. I do have a lot of Twitter followers for some reason.
There's a threshold that you have to reach before you get random people just interested in talking behind your
Yeah.
back.
That's true.
I used to send Kevin comments that were like held for moderation or sent to the, the shit folder because they were so rude. Occasionally I'd send him one of the really funny ones that just ripped on him. But that's kind of it. There's not a whole lot out there. I mean, there are a bunch of Vsauce memes that are, like, there are a lot with Michael that are, in poor taste as a teacher or beloved adult
Yeah,
might
yeah.
say. But yeah, I mean, other than that, there's nothing that's really discussing who you are and what you've done in your body of work and whether it's appropriate that you continue. And that's the kind of thing, when the cancellation stuff comes up for you and the people around you, like it's a very real discussion of whether you should be allowed to exist.
Oh, I shouldn't. No, I shouldn't. I'm a bad guy. I mean, dude, I care very little about these conversations because it just comes down to am I going to waste my time trying to convince people who don't watch my content and will never watch my content? Am I going to waste my time trying to convince them that I'm not this terrible monster that they think I am? And when I do the math in my head, I always come to just no, it's not because they don't like this. It's just not worth my time. It's not worth the air. And so I just let people
about
say whatever
when
they
this-
want to
oh.
say. And I'm I'm kind of chilling in my corner doing fine.
What about when the stands rise up, though? Because
I don't
those
give a
are people
fuck.
who
They hold no
watch your
power.
content. They do care
They
deeply.
hold no power. No, actually, I don't think a lot of them do because most of these stands, quote unquote, are coming from these Minecraft YouTubers who kind of I don't know. There was some shit going on, some conversation about Stan Twitter and how toxic it is, and they were going back and forth with Minecraft people and one of Carson's friends, Josh. But I just didn't even throw my hat into the ring at that point because it's just like I don't know. It's just it feels like such a waste of time to even get caught up in it. Like when I look at the kind of content I make, I know for a fact it's not designed for like that demographic. And that shows, like 90-10 is my male to female ratio in general. And, and it's just not worth it for me to really even like take notice when shit like that happens because they're not the people who watch my stuff and it's not really worth me trying to, reason with them in the first place.
Are you uncancelable if
I
you
don't know.
really
I mean,
just don't
if you don't give a shit
care
about
it?
it,
I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
I mean, like maybe if your audience actually cares about that stuff, like James Charles. Remember when that fucker lost like 3 million subscribers in a day?
Yeah, it was wild.
That's
Well, it
when you're
didn't ultimately affect
no,
him,
it
though,
didn't.
did it?
It didn't. But I mean, that it had a pretty sizable impact when it was going on. You know, the dude posted a video of him crying.
Why did that happen? I forget.
I don't know. Some thing about vitamin gummies and promoting them, and while his friend has a vitamin gummy company. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
fucking
there have
know.
been a few.
Ah.
There have been a few about Toddy Westbrook and
Yeah.
the relationship.
Then
that
everyone
went
turned
around
on
with
her the
people
next
and who
day.
was telling the truth. Yeah, they did, and they. The crazy thing is that 2 weeks later, once more evidence has come out and more information, it seems like everybody was initially wrong on all sides, and so it was really kind of nuts. Keem has been in trouble in that same sort of way, where it's like, oh, Keem is bleeding followers. Well, look, every time this happens and somebody is getting canceled, it's a little tougher now than when Social Blade showed the real time sub
Sure,
stats.
yeah,
Like it was, you could see those numbers turn
That
over.
was fun.
Now you just get the general things. But each time this happens and somebody is completely canceled and obliterated, they lose like 2% of their followers.
Sure.
Maybe less. Maybe it's 1%.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, it's back to normal.
The thing is that again, like the day I was trending last week with like fucking 20,000 tweets being made about me, I uploaded a video
Yeah.
the day of, and it got like 100 dislikes. And it was one of the most popular videos. I think it was the most popular video I'd ever uploaded. Like in terms of just initial boom, it was a 1 out of 10 on the studio. You know, it was just crazy. You know, and it really puts it in perspective of what what actually you should be doing and engaging with and caring about on this platform. And fact of the matter is, it's not fucking Twitter. I go on there once a week, I make my funny tweet, and I leave. And that's pretty much my relationship with the platform at this point.
Do you not really use it
No,
that much?
I
Not
don't.
really like
I
Twitter.
don't. Sometimes I'll go on to see what my friends are tweeting, and I'll try and reply to them, to kind of get in before their tweet does well, so that your name is still kind of associated with it, and then you get some of their followers. But in general, man, I mean, it's like I see very little value on Twitter. It's just fucking. I made a tweet in jest when all that Stan stuff was going on. Just like, dude, get off Twitter and fucking open up a brokerage account and start investing in mutual funds and shit. It's like there's so much better things you could be doing with your time that will set you up for success. And just being on Twitter isn't one of them, man.
Yeah. What I found interesting with the video that I watched about you people clamoring for you to be canceled were how many of them were frustrated that you weren't canceled. There were all of these things that were like, how come he keeps getting away with this? And they were shaking their fist in the air.
It's because they don't watch me.
And
it's because
that's what I was thinking. I was like,
this is the point.
because you don't have any effect on his content.
Trying to convince people who don't watch my content and never will watch my content because I don't make it for them. It's not worth my time convincing them I'm not a terrible person. So I don't worry about it, and I'm doing fine. And really,
the only way it would have an
honestly,
effect
dude,
is if your
yes.
fans were pissed off,
and they're
at
not
you.
because they understand. But that's the thing. Like it's not worth my time, and that's really all I have to say on it.
It's just, it must feel weird though to have that occur around you.
Get
I mean,
used
I've
to it.
obviously never
You get used
experienced
to it,
anything
probably.
like that before. You brush it off at this
Yeah,
point.
you go on the trending section and you see your name, and you're like, well, must feel weird. It probably you guys
close the
don't
app.
have any experience with it. Very few people do, but that is really the extent of it these days.
Yeah, nobody cancels me over my stupid hot dog tweets. So that's part of my strategy. Is just to be extremely dumb.
Oh, I've seen your Twitter account, man. It is pretty dumb. People would just feel
Thank you.
bad trying to deplatform you.
Yeah, they would start a GoFundMe instead for my wellness. Get me checked out. I was hoping Marquez Brownlee announced today that he's creating some sort of Streamy Award this year, and I was hoping that it was going to be the worst Twitter account and that I would gladly accept it.
Right.
But he hasn't responded. He hasn't
No,
responded. So
Kevin, I hate to break it to you, but I doubt he even saw the tweet. You know, I would bet any amount of money that he just did not even see the tweet and does not care.
Well,
actually,
what if one of his assistants saw the tweet and it went up the tweet chain and got to him?
I'm sure his response would have been like, "Who?"
Well, Schlatt, did you notice during your 5 days of verification that you see very little tweets when you're verified? Because I have verification on the Vsauce 2 Twitter account, and I get no notifications on that. I'll see people tagging me on my personal Twitter that also tag Vsauce 2, and the Vsauce 2 account will never see that tweet. It just filters out everything.
I don't get notifications from anybody except the people I follow. So you can tweet anything in the world at me, and I will there is 100% chance I will not see it, because my notification section on Twitter is just people I care about. And I think that's what social media should be in the first place. You know, I've kind of got my own little quiet corner here where I just tweet stupid shit and don't and don't see what anybody says about it, because it doesn't matter. It's social media. It's fucking useless in the first place, man.
So what does the future hold? What's your 5-year plan?
5-year
Well, we know what your 4-year plan is to rerun for president, but what is your 3-year plan before 2024?
I'll tell you what my week plan is. My 1 week plan. How's that? I'm going down to Austin, Texas, to look for some houses. And so I'm in New York right now.
Yeah.
And which sucks, because every year I have to go to the bank and write a big old check to New York State. And
Yes.
I've ran the options in my head, and have most YouTubers, right? Think of it this way: most YouTubers will go to LA or some crazy expensive area where everybody is, and then they wind up spending a lot of money on their house and a lot of money on state tax and all that. But I think the streamers have kind of got it figured out, because Austin is like this kind of streaming capital. Because streamers don't go outside. They just sit in their house, and Austin has big houses for cheap and no state tax. There's no state income tax.
It really, when you come from a state like New York or California, it's instant. And you go to a place like Texas, Florida, Nevada, you instantly get a 12% raise.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up, that's life. You get a 12% raise on your life. Boom, the end. And if you're, let's say you've got a good job, you're making $60,000 a year. What are the odds of getting 12% as a raise at work? Well, probably not great, but you can get in a car and go, and all of a sudden you're making $7,000-8,000. Well, what's $7,000 or $8,000? Basically a mortgage payment.
Yeah, exactly.
On a 30-year mortgage on a big ass house, you can pull a payment like that. So by moving from New York to Texas, you basically get a free, large, amazing house.
Exactly, dude. And
that's the way the math works.
I've thought about this so much. When you're working on the internet and your income just straight up does not determine, it is not fluctuating based on where you live. You could live in the middle of fucking Appalachia and be making the same amount of money, and that's why it just makes sense to be somewhere cheap.
Yeah, it's viable too. If you can have, if you really don't care about what's around you, who's around you. And you can find good internet. I mean, we talk about places like Florida and Texas being good options. Well, there are places where $15,000-$20,000 a year makes you outrageously wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
And some people do take that route. I knew a bunch of people who did writing, who it's really the same as streaming, where most people who do a lot of writing don't go out a whole lot.
Yeah.
They buckle down and do their thing, or they do it for long periods at a time. They might put 10 or 12 months into a project. Well, go to Indonesia and hang out for a year on the cheap.
Yeah, dude.
It's totally viable now in a way that it wasn't even 20 years ago. You didn't have access to the same sorts of things when you went to any of those places. and you may not, you couldn't have gone to Austin and had access to the same sorts of media stuff that was in LA or New York. Well, that gap has closed, and you can be in Topeka and get it if you'd like it.
Totally has. And I just have so many conversations with YouTubers and people who just make a lot of money, more than we probably should, right? And I'm just in awe that, like, I feel like a lot of YouTubers they don't really care about their money, and they don't really do anything to kind of manage it or be smart with it. And no, like, there's no investment going on. Everybody lives in LA because that's where you have to be if you're a YouTuber. It just doesn't make sense. It kind of frustrates me.
Who's in Austin?
What's
the Austin streamer scene?
Austin's got Soda Poppin', Mizkif, S-Fan. It's basically if you obviously LA is still the place to go. LA has most of the people on Twitch, but Austin comes at a close second in terms of just the people who are there, and a lot of smaller streamers as well, because smaller streamers can't really necessarily afford LA, but Austin's kind of cheap in comparison. I'm not saying it's cheap in general, but if you got the choice between LA and Austin, I'm taking Austin any day of the week now. And so my plan is to get out there this month and tour some places, and hopefully get something signed, some year-long lease on a place, and just move down there and see how I like it. And if I wind up liking it a lot, then maybe I become a real estate guy. I feel like that's a viable option for a lot of YouTubers. I know for a fact CNanners, when he quit a couple years ago, he straight up moved to Austin and started doing real estate. Like, it's just one of the things YouTubers tend to do after they're done making videos. They just kind of own land, which is weird. It doesn't really.
Yeah, a lot of flexibility in it, though.
Totally.
Like in terms of scheduling and the way you apply your responsibilities, it kind of is pretty similar to YouTube.
That's that's fair. That's very fair. And so that could be in the cards for me. Who knows? Right now.
What about a gamer house? Schlatt TV.
God damn. I would be living with I would be living with a streamer buddy of mine, Connor Eats Pants, who's pretty cool. But in general, I'm not really too keen on this idea of getting 5 sweaty big men in the same place.
Sweaty. So you're gonna pull a Captain Sparkles and
I
never
keep
turn
my
the
house,
AC on.
I have a fucking heater on, 24/7. Even in Austin, that gets pretty hot.
150
yeah,
degrees.
man. So, I mean, I just like having a lot of space. I like the idea of having, a different room where I sleep, and a different room where I can relax, and a different room where I can film stuff. And in Austin, that's a possibility. And in LA, it's not. In New York, it's not. So, yeah, I think that is the extent of it.
What YouTubers are in New York?
No one. And it's funny because you
That's
think
what I thought.
you think New York City is kind of this hub of where creatives go. It's just not. It's just not true. No one is in New York. No one. I know zero YouTubers who live in New York. I think Naked Jakey did move in recently, but
that's right. He did, yeah.
But other than that,
he did.
I don't know.
The Gregory brothers are there. Those are the only other people I know. Shmo Yoho.
Yeah, that's an OG.
Yoho? Oh yeah. They're in New York. That's it. That's the list as far as I know. And before that, Casey obviously, but he moved a couple of years ago now. So
it's so weird. Like, you think
noisy and expensive, and there's no room. It's
sounds
the most
like LA
inconducive place.
To be honest, I mean, you'd think there would be some kind of presence in New York City, but there's just not. You really do just go to LA.
You can get room in LA though. You cannot get room in New York.
Yeah.
It's $1 million to rent a closet there.
It just doesn't make sense to me why LA tends to be the only option. It is what it is.
That's where all the agents are. Yeah. That's where all the agencies are. And hey, do you want to do this TV thing or commercial thing or ad or it's all out there. That's why. And so it's less YouTube stuff. It's more traditional media crossover stuff, really.
Oh, you're right. And I
And I think, yeah, that gives you jobs that are roughly aligned, loosely aligned, that you can do 9 to 5 jobs that are consistent as you do the take your shot thing. There are more jobs in the broad industry, media, communications, all that stuff, in a hub like that than other places. So it does make some sense, but at the same time, it's a life suck, it's a time suck, it's a money suck, it's a suck.
It is a suck. Everybody in LA is depressed, man. It's just not a happy place to be. I enjoy when I go on trips to LA and meet up with people, but I couldn't imagine, you living in LA, you're not hanging out with people every day of the week. You're not having fun. You're just kind of there. Like, I feel like I can take LA in very small doses. And other than that, I'd probably hate it.
Well, Kevin and I both got out. We did our time. He did more time than I did. I did 2 years. How long were you there, Kevin?
No, about the same, about 2 years.
Oh, I thought it was more like 4 or 5.
No. No, I was in Portland most of the time in the beginning days of Vsauce and then LA for a bit. But if we're ripping LA for a second, I would love to bring up what Glozell told us a couple of months ago, where Glozell, she ascended kind of like the hierarchy a little bit out in LA and started, rubbing elbows with a certain, upper crust of people out there. And she was telling us, like, as part of that, aristocratic scene, you start doing really, really strange stuff to stand out, to have something to talk about with your rich friends, and to just spend your stupid amounts of money on. 2 of the things that she mentioned were leech.
What?
Like leech therapy, including like having leeches like in her
fucking
inserted
bloodletting?
In her
leeches inserted in lady parts. These are lady part leeches.
That's some Black Plague shit right there. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was one. The other one,
by the way, she opened with that. That was the best part. It's like that was the very first thing she said on the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, this is either going to be amazing or absolutely awful."
What the fuck?
It was amazing.
The other one is almost weirder. Well, I'll let you decide. And it was like stripping down either completely naked or to your underwear, and then just having gold leaf like laid on top of your skin. And just that was a thing, gold therapy. You would just go to this gold therapy place. You get covered in gold for I don't know how long. I don't think she specified the duration or what the supposed benefits were, but that was the thing. And she probably paid, who knows, $1,000 for a session of like laying underneath gold.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. That is the most West Coast Los Angeles shit I've ever heard, dude. Fucking leeches. They don't do that shit anywhere else.
Anywhere else. That was my point. Yeah. There's no other place other than LA.
Maybe some religious fucking
wearing
cult
gold blankets
in the middle of nowhere does bloodletting and gold therapy still.
Yeah, but what's the gap between religious cult and those people? I mean, it's
True.
It's hard to discern.
People
I think.
still drink colloidal silver, though. That's still absolutely a thing. Haven't you seen the people turning kind of purple?
Oh yeah,
their skin. Like if you consume colloidal silver long enough, it builds up in your body. Your body has no way to expel metal, and so it turns your skin like a dark purple, and you can look like a giant bruise. That's pretty much what it makes you look like. But when you see the pictures of the people who are, I don't know if you'd call it addicted to it or just completely committed to it, they turn funny colors. Hopefully,
I am going to do my best right now to find a picture of this guy. His name is Paul Harrison. His nickname is Papa Smurf.
Yeah, I just popped the picture in the chat.
Fuck?
It's got to be the same guy.
What the fuck?
And if you're listening to this next week on audio, you got to Google this. If you Google one thing, Google colloidal silver man, like this is going to be the guy who comes up.
Wait, Matt, what is the benefit of drinking colloidal silver? Why do they do this?
I
Do you
think.
know?
Oh,
Makes me feel good.
I want to be right about it. Yeah, I want to be right about what they think they're doing. I do know that there are people who put it on topically, and there are people who swallow it. But I can't think exactly. Oh, the things that pop up in autocomplete just show the
Christ,
range.
man.
It's like colloidal silver for Lyme disease, for herpes. Yeah, antibacterial agent for wound dressing. That would be true. I mean, silver's pretty good at being antimicrobial.
This is fucking nuts.
Yeah. People think it has miracle effects, though. Like, that's the issue. If you're drinking this every day, consuming it every day, you're doing it because you think it's going to, like, cure cancer, something like that. Like, it's, yeah, and there is no evidence
like you think
that happens.
You say people like drink silver. The first thing I thought of was that like Egyptian pharaoh who drank mercury every day. It's like, how the fuck do people still do this shit?
There's almost a resurgence in it. And it's exactly what Kevin was talking about with Glozell, where there's almost a social pressure to buy into something really strange that's that one weird trick. I mean, think of the success of Gwyneth Paltrow in Goop.
God. She sent us
that's
a
like
cease
a
and
retail
desist.
version of the.
When we were starting Lunch Club,
yeah, that's the.
She sent us a cease
you were
and
Goop
desist.
for a little bit.
Yeah, we were Goop, and we had a podcast, and apparently she has the fucking patent, the copyright on Goop podcast. So shame.
Well, she was selling and still is selling. Like the jade egg was the one that really blew up.
Oh
right?
yeah, the
jade egg,
right?
that goes in the vagina. Yeah. But now, like, she's got the candles that smell like hers.
I have one.
And,
I have one. Does not smell good.
Do you really?
Yeah, it does not smell good.
Oh,
It's kind of flowery.
How do you know, though?
Kind of flowery.
How do you know that it's accurate, though?
You could never know.
So she threatened to sue you, and you bought her vagina candle.
It's a bit
in
of
response. That's a
bit
strange.
of a
That's a strange reaction
here. I mean, it's kind of one-sided,
yeah.
huh?
I
Kinda
think
one-sided.
so. I think we need to talk about this.
She is.
It's kind of abusive.
But you know what? I need that.
You're a pay pig.
I need that pussy candle, man. I light it up every night before I jerk off.
She's fin doming you.
Oh my god. It's true.
It's so weird, though. I mean, like, I feel. On one hand, I always thought that, like, once I made enough money, like, how much money do you really need until you can live off of your investments and stuff like that? On one hand, I always thought to myself, yeah, once I get that, I'll be fine. But then I see people like PewDiePie who do sponsorships every day still. It's like, what do you need? What the fuck does PewDiePie need the money for? And it's just kind of that natural thing of you kind of just get used to what you have and you just want more and more, regardless of how silly it is at that point once you're a multi-millionaire, you know?
I do think that PewDiePie has an operation to keep running, though. And, like, that's definitely a thing where when you start to employ some people and have other people's lives intertwined in, when you stop pulling in revenue,
that's fair.
Their livelihood is potentially gone.
Yeah.
So there's the responsibility to that brand and business to keep it running. And I think that's the case with him. I mean, I don't know how many people are working with him, but given the estimates on the revenue he pulls in from everything combined, it's more than enough to put food on their table. But for most people, I think it's just as simple as, like, they want things to be easier.
Sure.
Right. And you know, the step one, we've talked about this on other episodes. Like, step one is in YouTube world is like hiring an editor, you know, like getting that person to edit so you don't have to. And I think the convenience, like, every time you do a thing like that, you buy yourself a little more convenience, you buy yourself one fewer problem. You know, that's tougher to draw a line on, where it's like, yes, I'm willing to accept all of the problems that I currently have, and I'm not willing to do anything to alleviate them. You know, that's a line I think not too many people draw, so they keep earning and all of that. It's just that the problems they're solving tend to get more marginal, less important.
I also think people like PewDiePie, people who are so driven. I mean, that guy has made just a ridiculous amount of content.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's like I don't know what else to do. Like what would PewDiePie do? I mean, we had a whole podcast I think about this last year or whatever.
What happens when you retire?
Yeah, like he's a young guy. He's much younger than you or I, Matt.
Yeah.
But like, what is he gonna do for the rest of his life? I think he's just not ready to figure that out,
I always thought,
or doesn't
What are you
want
gonna
to.
do when you retire?
I always felt like I would.
Yeah,
I
what's
would
your
be,
plan?
Well,
Be a slumlord in Austin?
I'd have my my tenants. I'd just be sucking them dry every month. I want to be a shitty landlord. That's my goal once I retire. I want to. I always figured once I made enough money, I would just kind of like, I don't know. I'd still be in the content sphere, but kind of more in a medium that kind of is just more enjoyable. Because you gotta imagine PewDiePie wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now if he didn't enjoy it to a certain extent. But obviously there's something else he would rather be doing than that. It's got to be something,
yeah.
and it probably is within the realm of something he can do. Like, dude's got a lot of money; he can fund a little project that he wants to do, whether it's on YouTube or whatever. And I figure I might go, just continue to make the kind of stuff that I would want to see, and that doesn't necessarily fit the requirements to bang on YouTube's algorithm, because it's very easy to upload 30-minute long gameplay videos of you and your buddies playing Jackbox, which is what I've done recently, and it's kind of hard to say no to that content when you haven't made it yet. And when YouTube sees that and is like, hey, let's show this to 2 million people in the first few days, like, what am I going to do? Say no? No, I'm going to keep fucking making those videos until I don't need to anymore, I don't necessarily, that's not the most fun thing in the world to me, editing those videos and putting them up. But I imagine my retirement, air quotes, would look something less like that and more like me taking the time to kind of make better videos that I enjoy a little more. Whether those are video essays or whether that is, posting more frequently on my Call of Duty channel. I have a Call of Duty commentary channel that's like straight from fucking 2010, where I just played Modern Warfare 2 and talk over it. I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be talking up cereals in my exaggerated, bombastic persona, had I not need to,
Isn't the commentary stuff
Yeah,
the weekly
it's-
slap? Isn't that like your ask schlap
kinda
kind
is.
of like advice
It
column
kind of is.
sort of?
For a while I've been accepting emails from people who just kind of send in their problems, and I give them advice on it. But recently it's been kind of a struggle to do it, because I keep thinking about this concept of like parasocial relationships, and especially with the drama that's been going on recently with stans and all that kind of loops in too. Because I don't know, the thing that goes on in my head is, when I see people who have become so utterly invested in one content creator, to the point where like they have Twitter accounts dedicated to them, and I don't know, I feel like the relationship I want to have with my viewers is, I want you to treat me like a TV show or something, like just a piece of media that you tune into every now and then and enjoy, and not, and that's really it. Like, you turn off the TV and then you go about your life afterwards. I want you to watch my videos and laugh, and that's really it. And because I don't care about you. That's the thing. It sucks to say, but I might care about my numbers and my viewers, air quotes, as like a collective. But in terms of individual viewers, in terms of the one dude in, Idaho, Boise, Idaho, who's watching my videos every day after a hard day's work, I don't care about him. I don't know him, and so I can't. I reasonably can't care about him. And And the thing is with the weekly slap is that it's kind of like breaking down that fourth wall of this bombastic, character that I play in my YouTube videos. And it's kind of, on one hand, it's a nice outlet where I can kind of express myself and not have to, be joking about dick and balls. And on the other hand, it's kind of this window into me as a person that I don't necessarily know if it's the best thing for me to do to be sharing it with people, because then it kind of builds that parasocial relationship in a way that, I don't necessarily think is that healthy.
Yeah, you definitely have those because I saw somebody like one of my tweets and their account was like, I'm obsessed with Schlatt. I don't remember what it
Yeah,
said, but it
man.
was something along those lines.
I don't know how to feel
Um,
about that kind of stuff.
You see, yeah.
Just send them.
You
Just
see a
send them
ton.
the Vsauce 2 video, "The Invention of Friends," or friendship. I don't remember what it's called, but they'll they'll learn about what it means to be a friend and how your brain cannot possibly care about them cognitively. It's science, fellas.
It's just simple science.
Sorry.
It feels weird
Right,
to say that I don't care about any of my fans, but like if I if I really was like I love each and every one of you, you guys are the best. It'd just be not genuine.
A lot of
I
creators
know.
say that.
I know it does. I know they do. And I don't think it comes from a bad place or like a disingenuous place. But it's just not for me. I'm not the kind of person who's going to say that.
It's a numbers game too. Like it's
Totally.
very easy. We've talked in past episodes about the community with the Create Unknown. It's small enough to where we can actually do that.
Right.
And like, and it's real. Like we know what kind of art people are doing
Sure.
and what kind of
Yeah,
videos
yeah,
they're
of course.
making. If it were even like maybe twice the size that it is now, which wouldn't be a lot. It's not like there are 10 million subs here, especially who are active in the Discord and stuff. But even twice the number that we've got now, it would be impossible to know what everybody was doing, and that's a really small number. So we're kind of at capacity in terms of knowing people really
Yeah.
well. We will probably continue to grow. Like the Discord community has grown at a decent pace for a year and a half. There's no indication that that will stop. That's great, but we're going to probably not have as strong a handle on the minutia.
Of course.
Some people will stand out, and that's fine. That's awesome. We'll get to know their stuff really well, but it won't be like it is right now, where we really do pretty much know what everybo's
Right.
working on. And again, these numbers are so much smaller than what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Anybody who has tens of thousands of Twitch followers, even or not even millions or anything like that, when they say that they really have a deep attachment to each and every person, look, it's just not possible.
It's not. And like I said before, like you can tweet anything you want at me. I will not see it. I won't see it. I have Twitter formulated in a way that it doesn't show me anything. And that's the way I enjoy it. That's really is that is what brings me peace. Not seeing any of it, because I know that there's stupid shit going on, and I know that there's people who care way too much about me that probably shouldn't. And it sucks to say that one of my favorite projects that I really like genuinely enjoy doing probably contributes to that parasocial relationship. I don't know. It's just something I've been struggling with, I guess.
Yeah.
Got deep.
Yeah.
I know. It makes sense though. It does make a lot of sense.
It's like
Especially
Ice
just
Cube said, "Deep, so deep, put yo ass to sleep."
Maybe my retirement looks like kind of breaking down that wall and kind of putting a stop to the whole bombastic nature of everything, and just going on that Call of Duty channel every week. Maybe that's what I'll be doing till the end of my days. But I don't know. Man. I mean, my plans are pretty. I'm not too much of a planner, to be honest. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a 5-year plan. I I have a vague idea of what I'd like to have in 5 years, which is a pretty decent place to live, and probably trying to start a family at some point. Um, but I really couldn't. I really couldn't tell you. I mean, this shit. I've only been doing this full time for like a year, man. A year and 3 months, maybe. So I mean, so much
Wow.
shit.
It's pretty new.
It is. It totally is. And this landscape changes every month. Something crazy happens, and yeah, I don't know. Who knows what? Who knows what fucking YouTube and Twitch will look like in a year from now?
Well, we have a bunch of questions that, Matt, if you could do your best to shotgun
Yeah, sure.
through. So
We can blast down through these. And the first one
Yeah.
the first one is from Rosie, who became a member of the Dumpster Crew during this episode. Thank you,
Whoa.
Rosie.
Dumpster Crew.
We love you individually.
welcome to the Dumpster Crew, Rosie.
We care deeply about you as an N equals 1. Everything
We love you, Rosie.
we just said in the last 10
matter.
minutes applies specifically to you.
We care about you.
I wanted to jump into it though and see if Kevin was segueing, because it's that question that you were just explaining about. It's about what are you doing 10 years from now? I know you say that, yeah, it's been 15 months full time, 5 years. I've got some basic goals, but
Fucking 10
what
years
is
from now?
Do you have a prediction for the 10-year
Fuck
slab?
no fucking predictions whatsoever.
Not a single thing?
Not a single thing. Hey, maybe I get married.
Is there anything you don't want to be doing now?
I don't want to. Hopefully, I'm still not, breaking keyboards and shit for YouTube views. Hopefully,
So you do want to tone it down.
I just want.
a
I don't
decade
know if
from
it'll
now.
be toned down. Hopefully, I'm not still playing Wii games. I feel like I need some kind of progression or something to change. Maybe I'll be breaking laptops instead of keyboards, so just have more money.
He'll be breaking 4 GTs.
In 95
Yep,
degree
yep.
garages. James wants to know that if you become the president-elect, which here's hoping for 2024, where would you drop a literal bomb? And you can't do something like the Pacific Ocean. Like, this has to be, you have to choose a real place that you would bomb as president.
How big's the bomb?
Let's say it's at least as big as the last time we used a nuke. So at least as
Okay.
large as Fat Man and Little
I mean,
Boy.
for my own selfish reasons, I would tell everybody that I cared about to evacuate the city of Los Angeles, and then we'd fucking drop it there, so that everybody would just
Wow.
like stop being stupid and moving to Los Angeles when they wanted to be rich and famous, and they decided to move somewhere cheaper.
They're just going to flock to somewhere
Yeah,
else.
they come to Austin. We have our own little setup with no
and
state
then you'll
taxes.
have ruined Austin.
Well, no. That's why I say I only tell the people that I care
You
about.
destroy 2 cities with one bomb.
Only tell some of the YouTubers I care about. Hey, come to Austin, buddy. I'm about to drop a bomb on fucking Los Angeles. Then we get rid of it.
We'll we'll know something's up when we see that one tweet that says, "Bro, don't come to Los
for
Angeles
real.
tomorrow."
Also, no one in Los Angeles is going to be voting for me anyways, so shapes up well for me the next election.
When are you going to announce that run?
Oh, who knows? I mean, I started selling merch, Schlatt 2020 merch in 2019. So I think
okay.
maybe a couple years from now is when I'll get the ball rolling again. Maybe start at 2023. I'll
makes
begin
sense.
it again. Maybe I'll do like a congressional run in 2022. I think it just kind of makes sense.
You've got
got
time.
a lot of
You've got time to
think about it.
strategize.
A lot of time.
Darkness Barker asks, this is a slight topic shift. What's your favorite video game?
Right now, DayZ. Totally love DayZ. I've been watching a fuck ton of DayZ streamers recently. This new map came out that's entirely community made. Fucking love that survival sandbox aspect of just like running into random people as you're trying to survive and not knowing what the fuck. Okay, is this a good guy? Is this a bad guy? What are they gonna do? It's such a fucking cool game. It sucks that the game isn't actually good, but it is very enjoyable for me.
Kino Corner wants to know favorite movie.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Next question.
Oh, that was amazing. Yeah, you've thought about this a lot. That's
That was good.
instant. There was no thought
man.
at all. It was just like a muscle memory.
Fuck that pool scene. The opening scene of Terminator 2 is just fucking. It's beautiful. Fucking takes the cigarette, squeezes it into Arnold's chest. My God.
It is the perfect
Throws him under
action
the
movie.
fryer.
Is there a
No,
better action
no, of
movie
course
than
not.
T2? I don't think so.
There's
I
no
really
better
don't.
movie at all. The fucking metal guy that
Obviously.
shapeshifts through the jail cell. Fuck, dude. Such a cool movie.
We have some more. Andrew wants to know, where's your idea of a goat come from? A goat as you come from.
So back when I was making montage parodies in like 2015, that's how I got my start. I'd edit these shit posts. And just so happened that one of the games I liked, Castle Crashers, had this little like buddy that you could take along with you called Rami. And he was my profile picture. It's just a picture of Rami from Castle Crashers. And once I started growing, it got to the point where I was like, well, maybe it's not a good idea to use a copyrighted character as part of my branding. So I went to an artist and I'm like, hey, let's do something new here, and let's stick to the theme of the goat for whatever reason, because I thought it was cool. Not because I find him attractive or anything like that. I think that's quite strange, but I mean, you do you. It's just a cross I bear at this point. I'm not a furry, but most people probably think I am. It is what it is.
Yeah, there was some furry talk
Yeah.
earlier. Yeah, a little bit on the server. So some people do seem to believe that. Isaac wants to know, what flavor of wings were you eating?
Honey barbecue. Not good with spicy food, to be
That's
honest.
a good blend. No, you like the mild
I got
ones?
the that 2X ramen. Again, like we're back to ramen. I don't know why I'm trying to eat more ramen. I don't need to, but I bought it on Amazon, got it fucking imported, and it is spicy as shit. I can't eat it at all. You put one drop of that fucking liquid in, and it's just like inedible.
Got to go for a softer
Yeah, man.
palate. Chinchilla. So I don't think we mentioned this. So our leadership crew, our best of the best, our top tier is the baby gang. Baby gang, the
course.
infantry.
Oh,
And
that's
so
funny.
Chinchilla, Monsieur Chinchilla had some concerns about your God of We babysitting video.
Yeah, of course.
And he doesn't know if they as a baby gang should be afraid.
Well, look, I mean, that video was that beef is just purely between me and baby Yuto. I don't have a thing with most babies.
It's not baby wide.
No,
then.
it is not. It is not baby wide. It's just with me and baby Yuto. We kind of have that connection. So I mean, I wouldn't have all your infantry worry about it. That's clever. It's a clever name, dude. The infantry.
11's. Oh yeah, no, we are generally baby themed, with the tots, and Dumpster Crew deviates from that a little bit, but that's got its own reasons. But yeah, it's good
A little bit.
good to
But
roll with the babies.
there's a connection.
Yeah, we didn't want to have Dumpster Baby as a Patreon title. Like there's some connotations there.
Yeah.
So 11's wants to know about your keyboard bit. Where do you get these keyboards, and how many
All
do you
right.
buy?
So my manager Ryan P, who manages the Misfits and some other groups, he had a U2's launch, and he said, "Hey, if you promote this U2's launch in one of your videos, I'll get you a really nice keyboard." And I said to him, "How about you get me a kinda nice keyboard and also like 50 really shitty keyboards so I could break them?" And he said, "Okay." And then 50 shitty ass keyboards showed up, and I still have there's 3 left. After about half a year, there are 3 keyboards left.
Are you going to
I
restock?
don't
What
know.
happens when the final
I don't
keyboard
know.
goes down?
I feel like it's kind of played out at this point. I mean, how many more times can Schlatt smash a keyboard and all his and everybody in the baby gang laughs? Like I feel like I'm kind of running on fumes at this point.
Dude, do you know how many times Gallagher smashed a watermelon?
Yeah. He's got a good
Probably,
career in Laughlin right now. Or
You think, I
Thousands.
can, you think I could get another shipment of keyboards?
If he can keep getting those watermelons, man, you can keep getting the keyboards.
But I do have a very nice buckling spring keyboard. That is my daily driver. Not the IBM Model M's, although those are the classics. I have a Unicomp. I think it's called the Classic, Unicomp Classic. It's basically this company that bought all the old patents and machinery to make the Model M keyboards and has continued to make them, but kind of, newer. So if anybody is wondering what kind of keyboard I use, you just get a fucking buckling spring and it'll last you for years.
We got a couple more here. Oh, so there's been a revival announced for iCarly. Isaac wants to know if you're going to get a role in it.
No, I don't think so. Dan Schneider.
Not even just your
Dan
feet?
Schneider hasn't contacted me about any, bits where I pour ketchup on my feet or, write my favorite iCarly quote on my feet or, take pictures of my feet. We were watching, dude, I was in a call the other day. We were watching this fucking mashup of all the times they had Ariana Grande doing the most sus shit on Victorious. It was honestly, it was fucking disgusting. I have no idea how that fucker got away with doing the shit he did. LA, baby. Dan Schneider was taking the fucking the golden shower. That's different. But yeah, that video that Isaac just posted, that is such a disgusting video.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah, it's really pretty strange, isn't it? Yeah, Ariana
You're telling
Grande
me no one
being
was like,
sexualized
no one on Victorious, on the crew was like, why are we doing this?
It's not subtle, is it? Like
I've
at a certain point, it's just not
I've never seen it, and obviously people listening, if they haven't seen it, they're not in the chat, so they can't click it. What is it? Close-ups of her feet?
They gave her like these weird toys that she was like stroking throughout her weird speeches. I don't know. The whole concept is just weird. About a minute into this video, it basically looks like she's getting a facial. And this is like she's a child. It's
and this was
gross.
like Kino saying in the chat.
Gross.
Yeah, Kino saying this is present in most of the shows that he worked on, and there's dialogue that's really strange, some jokes that are really strange, positioning of body parts and things like that. Like it could be feet. Like once you know, you see it
exactly
everywhere. Dude. And it's constant. Like it's constant.
Exactly.
So
I recently
the people who worked on the show.
I recently watched some iCarly, and like in the intro to the show, there's this one of the scenes they use is them with fucking little faces on all their feet, just like wiggling them in front of the camera as fucking Miranda Cosgrove is on that text is on the screen introducing her as the main actor. It's just then you realize, oh well, there's this episode of Drake and Josh where they got lizard pee and they just soaked their toes in lizard pee. And then there's this episode of Victorious where they were flesh eating fish that made your toes really clean. And there was this part where one of the people in Victorious put their feet in the fish bath, and then the rest of the episode was just like people feeling their feet, and the joke was, wow, these feet are so soft. So weird, man.
There's a lot of feet in there. Feet sauce too. That's his YouTube channel.
No. Oh no. I don't like that at all.
Let's machine gun these because then you can get your life back. Ben said your Open TTD videos were some of his favorites, and they inspired him to log on for quite a few hours in the game. Do you still play the game?
I play Open TTD every now and then with some high school buddies of mine. It's still a very, very fun game. I tend to take it a little too sweaty, though.
Will he see more of it? Will he see some in the future?
Some of the videos, some of the types of videos that I made around Open TTD like a couple years ago, probably not. You're probably not going to see that for a while because I made like $50 from those videos, and it just doesn't make sense to make more of them, unfortunately. At a certain point,
based on the conversion, that's about 30 boneless
wings. Exactly. And at a certain point, you put a month of work into a really good video, and it makes $50, and you're like, well, I probably shouldn't have done that. And then you say, oh, well, I'll just rate cereals instead.
Well, you need to make more than 50 so you can help bail Isaac out of jail. He just posted a search history around you talking about the Dan Schneider stuff. And yeah, like these are 6 or 7 terms that you don't necessarily want to Google.
No, you don't want to Google that.
But yeah, iCarly Toes Faces. Good. Have fun explaining that to your ISP, Isaac. Rosie wants to know your honest opinion on anime because you've mentioned watching some in the past.
Was it Studio Ghibli? Yeah, Studio Ghibli. I've watched a bunch of their films. My Neighbor Totoro is up there as one of my favorite films. But I haven't watched any shows. I mean, the closest I've come to actually consuming anime, I'd say, is probably watching Bakugan Battle Brawlers before school every morning in like 3rd grade.
Studio Ghibli films are the gateway drug, though. They get you in the door, and then all of a sudden you're like watching Inuyasha.
I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about starting some, whether it's My Hero or anything. I mean, my buddies always try and get me to start watching it, but I've been holding out. Who knows?
Yeah, I haven't seen that either, but I hear nothing but good things about that show. My Hero Academia.
Yeah, Boku no Pico or whatever the fuck. All my buddies love that one.
Triple question mark wants to know if you have any upcoming plans for your main channel, or are you just going to stick to live and the slap for now?
Live and the slap for now. I wish, look, dude, I mean, I wish I could still, I wish it made sense for me to make long form, more thoughtful content, but it straight up just doesn't. YouTube makes it abundantly clear what they want to see from us as creators, and we'd be stupid not to give in and make that kind of stuff for the time being until I have enough money to the point where I can start doing projects I want to do again. Not to say I don't enjoy what I'm doing now, but it is certainly tailored to the YouTube algorithm in a way that my older, more thoughtful stuff was not, because this is my job now.
Well, that's fair. You got to ride the wave when you've got it, because it's just not always going to be there. And Isaac wants to know, how did the entire Dream SMP experience go? And do you wish it had gone differently? And is there anybody you genuinely like or dislike after it?
I mean, the Dream SMP was interesting. I was told to come in as the president. It's a pretty hard scripted Minecraft server. Like, these events that are all planned out. They've all kind of got the storyboard that we've got to follow. And I think I did a good job. I think I performed up to most people's liking. And the downside to that is some people think I'm an awful guy. But I've been doing very well on YouTube and Twitter and all these places since then. So I mean, I can't really complain. It was funny though to see my last line being like, Schlett has a heart attack and dies. I was like, well all right. And so I've never been on the server since. I had canonically died. So there I go.
Wow. Yeah, there's no coming back from that, is there?
I mean, there's some talented people on the Dream SMP. We talk a lot about Tommy Innit, and how explosive his growth has been recently, and the fact that I am just embarrassed to show people what I was doing when I was 16. And he's 16, and he has 3 million subs, and he's getting like almost 100 million views a month. It's fucking good for him, man. Very proud. Wouldn't be able to do it at 16.
Yeah, that's his. I don't even know what you call it. His existence is so atypical. It's weird. It's awesome. It's neat to see, but it's very hard to understand because there just isn't a whole lot like it. Kevin, I think that's
finally fucking.
I think that's it. We had some more questions, but we covered them all in the episode. So Chinchilla asked why you were spreading misinformation about the cereal tiers. Well, we got to a lot of cereal.
We had a nice discussion about that. I'm sorry I got a little heated. I take my cereal very, very seriously.
Well, you should. You should. And Baseweight asked a bit about cancellation and all that, but you went. You ran with that and explained to the nth degree, and that was pretty solid. So yeah, we're in good shape, Kevin.
Yeah. Okay. Well then, and also you already kind of we like to end each episode by asking our guests what their fursona is. You already explained that you don't have one, so I'm going to ask the other question instead. The other question that we get our guests out on is we'd like to celebrate the creativity of our guests. That's the
Sure.
point of this podcast. It's called
Right.
The Create Unknown. So one of the other things that we like to do is ask our guests to do an ad read, impromptu ad read. You just have to make up the sponsor for this episode. Whatever the sponsor is, it's your job to come up with that and then to just do the ad read for the sponsor that you've chosen for this episode, for your episode.
Like a fake,
Flax
like a
episode of
fake
The Create
company
Unknown.
that has decided to sponsor this episode, or can I just do it?
Yeah,
Can I do an
anything
ad
you
read
want.
for my plush figure that comes out when this podcast will air?
Do that too.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Do that too. Let's sell you some. Let's sell some.
allow me to sell
Schlatt
some
plushies.
Schlatt plushes. I'm selling 6 different
Yes.
fucking Ram themed. Oh my god, you're gonna love this, guys. You're gonna fucking love this. Ram themed plushes. All the furries in chat are fucking salivating right now because there's pillows. There's this 2-foot tall plush that just kind of stands on its own. It's crazy. Also some tinier ones.
That's
It's a little
huge.
keychain plush. Very cool stuff. It's on YouTube's site, and that's where we're selling them. And I suppose the sponsor of this video, of this podcast, besides my plushies, has been Boneless Wings, because there is absolutely no residue that comes along with using a metal fork.
I had a feeling it was going to be come back
always
to the
comes
wings.
back.
It's where we
Yeah, dude.
started. It's where we're ending. It feels
Residue
Circle
free
natural.
of life.
chicken.
It's the circle
Yeah.
of life.
That's the future.
Well, listen, Residue Man, thank you for taking the time
That's
and
what they
hanging
call
out,
me,
and
man.
hanging out
I am-
with
I
us.
am the
It was
Residue
a
Man.
pleasure.
Thanks, guys, for having me. I had a lot of fun.
All right, and thanks to all of our patrons. Our new patron Rosie
We love you,
for
Rosie.
hanging out with us.
We love
if you
you.
want to,
And
love Rosie.
Elevenses did overnight. Elevenses jumped in the gang or in the tots as well, and so that was nice to wake up to. Good to see.
We
some
love
awesome
and
new people.
appreciate all of you
So-
individually. Thank you.
yeah, we're doing these every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you want to listen, you don't have to be a patron. Just come and listen and hang out. If you want to chat, well, then you got to at least be a tot. But why stop there? You could be a part of the dumpster crew. You could be in the infantry. You could be part of the illustrious
Mm.
baby gang. Just go to patreon.com/thecreateunknown. And
You can go
until
higher
then,
if you're interested. You can buy this whole podcast from
Mm.
us.
that's true. That's
We
true.
have no
and
attachment
host it
to
yourself.
If the price is right,
No,
it's gone.
we're open. We're open to offers. So just slide in those DMs with
With a
your
cashier's
offer.
check. Yes.
Yeah.
Western Union.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, wire it from Nigeria, from the prince. And it's all yours. All right. No, seriously
Thank
though.
you.
Thank you, Schlatt. Thank you, patrons. Thank you, non-patrons. We'll be here again next Wednesday. Until then,
Have a good
see you,
one,
Space
fellas.
Cowboys.
Thanks for listening to The Create Unknown. We'd like to extend a huge thank you and a congratulations to the listeners who made our Save the Babies drive a success. Many
He says, I listened to it during my 4 p.m. dick flattening. It really
Mm.
makes the time fly by.
Do you reckon he
When was the
uses
last
an
time you,
iron to flatten his dick?
Maybe a
I'm
vice.
thinking more of a rolling pin.
Oh,
Nah,
situation,
surely a vice,
perhaps.
right?
That would hurt. That'd hurt. You gotta
Well,
like pinch it.
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever flattened chicken breast for cooking, but I imagine
don't
something
you,
like
like-
that is
Yeah,
probably
you like
he
smack
just
the
put-
shit out
it
of it,
adds a
right?
tenderizer.
he puts his cock in between 2 sheets of baking paper and just fucking hammers it with a mullet.
and then he rolls it.
Or a mallet,
Okay.
rather. Not a
Mullet.
mullet.
He
That'll be
just
a-
pulls out a fish and starts whacking it.
I mean, that,
Actually-
or a hairstyle.
I actually dropped an iron on me myself once.
what?
on your
Really?
dick.
Mason's on the show. Hello, everyone. Mason, how you doing?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah. Do you want to
So
go
you
around?
dropped an
do,
iron on yourself once.
do you want to go around and introduce
No,
everyone
you just
first?
keep you
Go for it,
you-
mate.
You
Oh,
share your
okay.
little moment.
Yeah, so I dropped an iron on my chest. I was playing hide and seek, and it was like the iron board. I was like moving out of the way, and I was picking up the iron so I could like hide in the top corner of this room. And I picked up the iron, and it slipped out my fingies, and then dropped on my chest.
Was it on?
It was on. It was steaming
Oh my
hot.
god!
And
Oh, slippery fingies.
for like 2 weeks straight, I thought I was gonna have like this scarred burn on my chest, but it actually healed really well, and I couldn't
Oh,
shower
nice.
for like a week properly.
Oh,
Oh,
Fuck
God.
that.
you're a stinky boy.
Yeah, I
Stinky
was.
fingies,
I
huh?
was.
Swagger Souls is here too.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. Do you have an anecdote that's equally impressive, or
I've never dropped an iron on myself. No. I did stick my hand on his stove when I was 9 years old.
Oh,
My
Toby's here.
dad yelled at me.
your dad yelled at you before you put your hand on the stove, or
No,
after? Was it a
immediately after.
reactionary?
He was cooking. He was cooking food. And I just fucking put my hand on the stove because I was like, what's this? I put my hand on it. I started screaming. And he's like, why the fuck did you do that? And that just made me cry more. But then he
I did that
consoled
as
me
well.
after.
That's how you learn about heat as a child, you know.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
learn
Gotta
that
figure it
stuff.
out.
Burning yourself.
And then you go, Dad,
Trial
you're
and error.
hot, hot, hot. You know what I mean?
Toby's here.
Hello. I'm here.
What?
No,
You call
no
your dad
anecdote
hot,
from
hot,
me,
do you?
guys. I'm
No,
a
Oh, I was
Lone
actually
Ranger.
looking to address that thing you just said about you calling your dad hot, hot, hot.
No, I was calling Swagger's dad hot, hot, hot.
Oh, he'd
Oh,
appreciate
that's-
it.
That is fair.
Hello, Mr. Souls.
Hello.
You're
Just-
hot, 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 mate.
You've still got it, Mr. Souls.
You've still got it.
Matt's here. G'day.
G'day. I don't think
G'day.
I've
You ever
dropped
touch a
anything
stove?
on me. Oh, I've burnt my hand on the oven
Ever?
door, but
On an
Have
oven
you,
door?
have you ever
like when
dropped
it's
it like
open,
it's
and, like
hot?
pulling something out of the oven, you're like, oh, I want to see. Ah. It's like that. Yeah, like you said, that one time every kid's got to like burn themselves once to figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I crawled into a deep fryer when I was 7.
Mm.
Hi, I'm Fitz. I'm here too
Yep.
on the show.
He's got
Yep.
disgusting, burnt, blistered legs from jumping into a deep fryer when he was a child.
That's right. Everything else about me miraculously survived. I coated myself in a significant amount of oil, which kind of just popped and bubbled.
Yeah, you may
The
you may
legs,
notice that
however.
he never wears shorts. That's why
Well,
he doesn't want to show the
You wear
blisters.
shorts. actually wear shorts all the time.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram photo. You look very nice in that.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, aye.
I will say, and this is just a returning compliment that's
Oh.
heading your way, so get ready to catch it.
Okay.
You're looking very, very nice as well.
Oh well, hey, thanks.
Yep.
Yep.
And everyone on the show,
Yeah,
just
everyone
for
else,
that
fuck
matter, is
off.
looking very nice. You're all
Welcome back to the Fitz and Toby show, bitch.
we just compliment each other the entire time. You know?
Sounds like my kind of podcast.
Mm.
Fantastic. Well, guys, it's been an interesting week. You
It
know,
has.
Has it?
7 days have gone past, and let me tell you, they were all 24 hours each.
Yeah.
Shit, no way.
yeah, what?
Yeah.
As if.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought-
it's happened again.
I thought days went for like 1 hour.
No, well, it might feel that way sometimes when you're having as much of a ball as we are, but they were actually 24 hours long, and plenty was happening in each of them. So, would anyone like to share what they've been getting up to in the last
Mm.
week?
I've
No.
started Minecraft speedrunning
Oh,
on
really?
Twitch. Yeah,
Oh.
it's fucking hard.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
fucking. It's what?
As in, that's when you try and like beat the game. In,
Yeah,
like,
in an
as
hour.
quick a time as
I'm
possible.
trying to go for a
an
sub-hour
hour?
run. Yeah.
Oh my god!
So
He's contesting with Kobe. at the
yeah,
moment.
dude, Mason's brother Kobe. He's been streaming it. He got it in 53 minutes and 53 seconds. And
Oh,
I've
did
been
he
trying to beat it. It is tough. It really
Yeah.
changes like how you play the game. And I played it for a while, but like the strat is you spawn. You need to find a village. You get like 7 beds to kill the dragon in the end, and you carry the beds with you the entire run. You grab hay bales to make food that'll last you the entire run, and then you kill the iron golem to get like 4 to 5 iron to make a flint and steel and a bucket. And then
Is there a way to simply befriend the iron?
no, you gotta kill him. You gotta kill him for the iron.
Does an iron golem have a penis?
It's
Doesn't
on his
sit right with
face. It hangs off his
Oh.
face.
Okay.
Yeah, they
That
have a
can
weird
match.
anatomy.
That's bizarre. Has he,
Yeah.
oh wait,
That-
if he's got a penis-sized nose, maybe that means he has a nose-sized penis.
Possibly, maybe that's why you can't
Oh,
see.
Dorito dick.
Maybe it's a would you rather question, you know? Someone asked him, would you rather have a penis-sized nose or a nose-sized penis? And he said, well, penis-sized nose.
Maybe it'll make me smell better.
Yeah.
Maybe he
From
was
there,
thinking.
from there, you just have to get a water bucket, find a lava source, make another portal using the speedrun strat, and then you go in, you find a fortress, you get the blaze rods, you dig gold, you give gold to the piglin things, and then they give you ender pearls, and then You make your eyes, you go to the end, you drop in, you go, kill the dragon with beds, and that's the loop. But god damn it, it is really hard because everything can go really well for like the first 15 minutes, but as soon as you get to the nether, it's like you can't find a fortress, runs over, or you go to you find a village and something fucking goes wrong. You only get 3 iron and it's a rip run. It is very painful.
You know what I just realized as you were explaining all that? The new feature they added where you can give the piglins gold and they will give you an item back. Low-key just gambling.
It is.
Yeah, I didn't really think about it until now. It was kind of just like, Minecraft just straight up added gambling.
It's all part of their year-long plan to eventually add loot boxes to the game. They're just priming the kids now.
Hey, they're not loot boxes, they're loose
they...
chests. There's a big legal difference there.
Loot chests.
Loot chests.
Yeah,
Well,
it's just a matter of time.
Me and Kobe were actually streaming yesterday, and I actually got I think a clip hit top of Reddit.
Like, live stream was on live stream
so
fails,
funny.
dude.
Live stream fails.
really?
Yeah, I did a trick shot with a flip flop.
Accidentally.
Trick shot with a flip flop.
Accidentally.
It was smooth.
I like went to lay on the bed and I kicked my foot up, and then the flip flop flew off my foot, and I caught it in my hand and pretended I was on the phone. Like, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, got like 80K views.
It was hectic. It was a fucking amazing trick shot.
Unintentional, completely.
So funny.
Unintentional. Actually, you might find this hard to believe, but there was actually no one on the other end of the line. Either. I was just talking to my flip flop.
You mean the other flip flop was just on his foot?
Oh, I believe so.
Dude,
is that right, Mace?
If it had been Gucci flip flops, it would have been like 10 times better. Because it would just be, it'd just be a flex,
Oh,
True.
Yep. Would have been a flex.
Good point. It would have been 800K views.
Right now.
I don't buy Gucci anymore though, because I lose it.
Or you burn it.
Or I burn it.
Wait, you burnt one?
Yeah, I burnt my Gucci shoes.
Yeah. Well, why did you burn those Gucci shoes?
I just didn't like materialistic items, and
Exactly.
and I was just like, well, let's. I think Goonan proposed to me the idea. I was like,
Who
yeah,
did
let's have a
propose to
fire.
you? Congrats.
No, not like that. But
Damn.
Yeah.
yeah, then I
Well,
just.
I remember at the time when you did that, and definitely your thoughts were like,
Oh,
none
yeah.
of this shit fucking even matters, eh? Like none of this fucking.
Yeah. I was
expensive
definitely like,
clothing
I was
shit
like,
even
fuck
matters.
all this shit. Fuck these expensive items. Blah blah blah. But yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
then I
you
lost
just
my-
decided to clear your inventory.
I lost my Gucci wallet on a night out.
I remember that. The escalator.
Yeah, I was sliding down the escalator, and then I just lost my wallet. Went back, it wasn't gone. Someone would have yoinked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like when I think of people who I would consider people like, oh yeah, I could see you wearing Gucci, or like, oh yeah, I understand, like you going for that sort of look. You are not one of them, Mace. Like I don't think that I ever want to see you in full designer like Gucci clothing. I just don't think it's who you are. You know?
I know, it definitely isn't.
And that's totally. So just fucking like, who needs a $500 Gucci wallet to keep your money in? Like fuck that.
I think
shit.
the nicest
What
thing
you
I
wanna
own
do.
is the Supreme hoodie. That's like the nicest, but that's a cool hoodie though.
That's a good,
looks-
like
well,
it's
you
a
look
good
nice in
quality
that.
hoodie as well.
yeah, it's like wearing a blanket. Funky as.
The colors very nice on you.
Yeah.
And it's a piece of the Mason lore now,
It
That's
is.
been
it's part of
in
the
so
law.
many videos and stuff like that now it's just Mason lore. The
Yeah.
Supreme jumper.
Yeah, I think it
Well,
was sick.
speaking of videos, there's been a bit of shooting going on this week. However, not for the
There's been a
Misfits channel,
shooting?
for something else. There's been a small shooting. Mason might want to elaborate on that one, huh, buddy? I mean, what's going on with that shooting earlier in the week?
Bro, we talked
happened there?
about this. Come on.
No, we for those of you who don't know, we a good friend of ours is a rapper called Boy Scout Gatsby, and he has been in town in Melbourne shooting a music video for his up and coming tune. And a few of us were lucky enough to be a part of it. We had a couple of crazy days on. Well, I had one day filming. You guys had a couple
We
days
had
filming,
two.
right?
Yeah.
Right, which I actually don't really know anything about, about what. I mean, I've seen the photos and things on the Instagram story, but I didn't even know you guys had all this shit to do until this week. So
that second day
what's been going on.
was fucking nuts. But I guess we could start with the first day. I mean, you were the first one into the shoot. to do your bit, and I haven't seen or heard anything about what you did besides like the concept of the bit. So how'd it go?
True. Well, well, all I really knew, I just like said, Gatsby messaged me and he's like, "Oi, would you want to be in my music video, cunt?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right, sure thing. Like, I'd love to. I'll do anything for you, bro." And he's like, "Oh yeah. Oh, all right. Well, just keep Tuesday clear." And I was like, "Okay." Then he asked me for my dimensions, clothing wise. He was like, "Okay, what size clothes do you wear?" And I'm like, "All right, well, here you go." And the night before the shoot, like, you know, way too late to organize it, I get a message being like, "Oi, can you rent a suit? Do you have a suit that you can wear tomorrow?" So clearly, whatever he was asking for my dimensions just fell through. I had to wake up the next day, drive immediately to a suit hire place. No idea if they would even be able to sort me out. I walked in. I was like, "Look, I need you guys to make me look like a late night show host. I need a suit. I need something to wear." They sorted me out in like 15 minutes. I walked out looking like a fucking businessman. Hailed my cab. Went to the shoot. It's like this old abandoned warehouse that I pull up to. You guys probably saw the place as well. It's like I think it actually used to be a Bunnings, which is like a hardware store here in Australia a long time ago. But then it's got abandoned. Then a bunch of like heroin users and
squatters.
You know, a lot of squatters moved in and graffitied all over the walls and took various shits and pisses and other things in the toilet, which apparently solidified into a block by the time that the production team, you know, found themselves renting this place. So it was quite like a burned down, decrepit place. But, you know, upon going inside, it had been transformed into quite an impressive set, you know, cameras,
makeup, it was legit.
Lighting, you know, what do you, like dollies that you move the cameras on. Like a whole bunch of people were here making this music video happen. I walk in a suit, kind of not knowing what to expect. All I knew is that my role in the video was being a late night host, and that Gatsby would be on my show, and that I would be behind a desk and he would be rapping to me, and that would be the scene. But yeah, like it was kind of a crazy operation. I'd never really been in an environment like that before. I got my makeup done by a professional in front of a mirror. I looked all caked up and beautiful. She like fixed my hair. And I'm sort of watching Jackson Gatsby do his thing, and the directors, you know, kind of directing him very efficiently, and they're getting the shots done. And before you know it, it's time for my little moment. So we go over to this crazy set, which they built for the shot. It was like late night with Fitz, like a whole talk show host, like looked like David Letterman, like the whole thing, like a window with stars outside, all that shit. And yeah, we take positions and like basically shot this thing. It took around 30 minutes to an hour in total. It was just sort of running through different takes, pretending to have a conversation, like Gatsby rapping along with the lyrics, all these people watching it happen behind a camera, like kind of nuts, like kind of crazy, but also it felt very natural and very easy. The director did a great job at making everyone feel comfortable and making you know, things run smoothly. And before you know it, I was done. Fucking hung out on set for a bit more in my suit. Found a guitar, started playing that, and then I went home, and that was kind of all there was to it for me. Like it was very exciting, but at the same time, sort of just one and done. Just crushed it. So I can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yeah.
You guys, on the other hand, the next day and that night even seem to have had like much more crazy operation going on. So
well, that night was pretty easy going, if I remember, Mace. Wasn't it like we did a shoot? It was like for an award ceremony, like part of the music video.
We sat on the table with a bunch of champagne around us, and I had like a little Hawaiian shirt on and like my hair slicked back.
Yeah,
or like a Hawaiian dealer or something like that.
I saw you in the little brief cut. You actually looked like fucking someone out of a Quentin Tarantino film. You look like Nicolas Cage. He looked like Nicolas Cage. Can I say that? That's what he looked like.
Dude, makeup sorted him out really well. Like the thing is, like the makeup lady would go over to me and she's like, "Do you need anything done?" I'm like, "No, I'm wearing this helmet." Like, you know, she's like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Do you have any WD-40?" Because she was spraying Mason's hair with hairspray. I was like, "Got any WD-40 for me?" And she just started laughing. And yeah, I mean, we just sat at the table. Like the thing is that, like, I think part of the music video, the idea is that we, like me, Gatsby, and Mason, were a part of like this Vietnam War movie, and so we were at like an award show to receive the award for it. So we're like crossing our fingers, waiting for it to go, and then like they get it, and then we celebrate, and that was pretty much the whole. Like the whole shoot, it took like maybe 30 or 40 minutes to get the takes we needed. But the real fun was the next day where we actually recorded like the shooting, like the Vietnam like war movie for the context of that, and that was fucking crazy.
Warfare.
Yeah, that was full on. We
tell us about that, miss.
They had like so we get there and they have like these full get-ups for us, like full army get-ups that we just chucked on, and they were doing like face paint and all that and like dressing us up. I had like I look like I was looking at some of my Instagram comments. Someone said I look like the scout off TF2. I had like this helmet on, this metal helmet, and it was fucking heavy as fuck. Like now I understand like what Swagger goes through with that shit. But yeah, like, and then we had these like fake guns, like these gel blasters.
Gel blasters,
yeah, and they were like they looked realistic as fuck, and they were heavy too.
They were legit. There was no orange cap either. Like it was, it was legit.
Yeah, and we went down to, I think it was like in this big like bush area. Like it was a lot of trees, a lot of like wildlife and shit. And like this really nice house too that the guy let us use, which was cool. Cool. Yeah, that's like you keep telling the story, Swag.
They just set up in a bush basically, right? Like lights, cameras, everything.
It was a weird location because it was like an hour. It was like over an hour drive to go. Like it was like north of Melbourne somewhere.
No reception. Zero
reception. I called an Uber to go there because I would not want to fucking drive all the way out to those sticks. So I called the Uber and I get in the car out of my house. The guy looks and he's like, "Oh, you're going here?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm going there." He's like, "Okay, sure." And like we drive out. It was like the middle of nowhere. On the GPS, it didn't even show that there was a road. We went down like a gravel road. And then there was like another, where the house was, we were still on a gravel road and there was no house anywhere. And there was just like this little dirt path that led up the hill. And he's like, what do I do? I was like, I don't know, man. I've never been here before. Just go down that dirt path. And he was like, okay. And then we drive up and then sure enough, we come across, it's like this giant house in the middle of the woods. It was fucking massive. And, I get out of the car, I grab all my shit, I go into the, because I don't even know if I'm in the right fucking place. So I'm like looking around for signs of life to make sure I'm not lost. And I see like a car is driving by and I see it was one of the SFX artists like waving to me. And then I roll up in the garage. And I see Mason and Gadsby just decked out in war paint with all their whole fit on, and I'm like, holy shit, this is like really legit. So I get there, and we roll out. I suit up. They give me like a fucking wife beater, like one of those, like just like very. It was really tight.
You had the guns out, didn't you?
Yeah, dude, I did. And I don't show my arms like at all, really ever.
We had like this makeup too that was like, it looked like we had dirt all over us.
Yeah.
And, Jackson was
the makeup made your arms look jacked, bro. The makeup actually looks so sick.
Yeah, Jackson was like really set on the fact he wanted to wrestle in the mud to get the realism. And he's like, keeps going. And he's like, bro, we got to wrestle in the mud, man. We got to wrestle in the mud. But Jackson, I'm not fucking wrestling you in the mud to get like dirt on me just for the shit. Like
wrestling with the
because it already looked pretty legit with what we had. Like the makeup that she put on us was like legit. It looked real.
Yeah, it was literally really titled like dirt effects. And it was like this dirt that would also stain you. It was like a dye, but it was like crumbly. So like they would just rub it on your arms and it would make it look like you were stained with dirt and that there were little like specks of dirt in your hair along your arm. And it was legit.
Right.
They gave me like the wife beater, a flight suit that I had tied around, a vest, a holster, like
flight suit.
The entire thing. I think it looked like a flight suit, like a jumpsuit that you pull up as if you were like jumping out of an airplane and like being a parachute trooper or whatever. Like the costumes were not like historically accurate at all, but it doesn't fucking matter. Like it really doesn't fucking matter because it's just for a music shoot, and it looked realistic enough, and it fit the bill.
It's gonna matter.
And so
probably they fucked that up.
Yeah,
People are gonna complain in the comments.
Dude, people were complaining in the comments. I had an AK-47 and it looked legit. It was like a full-on AK-762 or whatever. But people in the comments were so nitpicky. They're like,
actually, there's a 5.56 muzzle brake on the AK-47, so the muzzle brakes wouldn't actually go on there.
it's like, dude, it's a fucking...
Thank God we have these intelligent folks in the comment section looking out for us always.
Yeah,
What would we do
we're so
without?
lucky.
We'd be lost. We'd be lost lambs.
It helps.
Anyway.
It really does. But no, like they were like very legit. Like, you know, you could take the mag out, you could put it in, you could rack the thing. Dude, I was in love. As soon as I got there and I saw all the guns out on the table, I was like, that's an 1911. I pick it up, I fucking do the action and all that shit. And then I was like, that's an AK-47. And I operate it and do the action and whatever. But that's an MP5. Then I operate it and I do the action. Everyone's like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm American.
Everyone else on set just growing extremely concerned about it.
Yeah.
Just like,
I'm like, I'm
looking around
American.
nervously.
I'm like, I'm in my element. And I
hope this guy didn't bring ammo. You know, what I'm saying?
I was like teaching people like how everything works. I showed Mason how to because he had the MP5 for the shoot. So I was telling him like, yeah, you pull the bolt back and you lock it in, then you slap it and it'll go forward. And he's like, oh, really? I was like, yeah, that's how you make it look cool and all that. And yeah. So basically, after we all got set up,
cool.
they did makeup on me. On my left arm, I wonder if it's still there. No, it's not. They painted tally marks, like confirmed kills on my arm. They're like, how many do you want? I was like, I don't know, 7. Like, just keep it tasteful. But
you should have said half.
Yeah,
half a kill.
It should have been like I kind of like figured afterwards. I was like, oh, how funny would it have been if like down my entire arm was just tally marks, like the entire shoulder was just fucking tallies. But so we had to wait for it to become night. So like that way we could shoot. It was supposed to be like in the night, foggy, in the woods kind of thing. So they set up like all these different screens. They set up all the lighting. They had a smoke machine, and they also made very small fires that were like, you know, controllable. I think they had a fire extinguisher somewhere on set in case it got out of hand. But like,
I love Swagger has a thing with fire where like,
yeah,
and I know
you're
that
in
they're just
the
being
bush.
safe. Obviously, I know, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just funny.
Yeah, well, you know, dude, nothing is
had to
scarier.
specify. I like how you just had to specify that there was a fire extinguisher somewhere, as if like that.
Well,
that isn't probably already the case.
Yeah,
like,
but you know, it's important to note because you know bushfires and coming into summer, and we're literally in the middle of the woods. So like,
I'm just surprised you didn't bring your own. That's unlike you. Cool.
Shut the fuck up. So yeah, they were starting these fires. They had like a smoke machine that would just pump smoke. They had a dude literally fanning smoke into the shot. And by the time we were ready,
cigarette and then fanning it in.
By the time we were ready to shoot, like there was this beautiful like rays of light going through the trees, like through the smoke, and we were like moving through with like our guns, and you know he was doing the parts where he was singing to his stuff, and it was really good. We like walked towards the camera like we were scanning, and then we pointed the camera on a cue, and then I had to do a shot where I was like going Rambo, like suppressing fire. So I was shooting the AK, and then my AK runs out of ammo, so I had to grab my gun and shoot. Like grab my holstered weapon and then like take a shot, and that turned out really well, dude. All the shots that we did were so fucking sick. Mason, talk about the trampoline.
Oh yeah, so they had to like get on this trampoline and pretend that there was like an explosion for the next scene, which we'll fucking tell you in a sec. They had to like jump on the trampoline and like get dirt thrown at them while they like fell back, and yeah, they did it, and like they were just getting dirt all in their faces and eyes and shit in their mouths.
Yeah,
and,
man.
Like Jackson was like,
like every time piffed at, dude. They like straight up fucking threw the dirt at his face. Because the idea is that like a mortar shell hit and exploded, or like an RPG or something. Like there was an explosion, and they shot and we shoot up in the air. It was me and Gatsby. So he does his like in 3 takes, 4 takes. And I'm like, yeah. Because they were like, do you want to go first or should he go first? I was like, he should go first because I'm going to be jumping on a trampoline and falling backwards with a helmet on. I want to make sure you guys like have done the takes to make sure like that it looks good and it's set up, so that I only have to do it like once or twice. And Gatsby did his. He got piffed in the face with dirt. like 4 or 5 times. And then by the end, he was like, all right, that's good. And then it was my turn. So I'm on this trampoline. I can't fucking see anything in my helmet. I'm supposed to jump up and fall back. But I'm like, oh, well, that could, if I miss, if I fall on my head, if I fall on the helmet, I won't get a concussion, but my neck is going to snap. So I was like really fucking careful about where I was falling and how I was falling. And I think I did 2 takes. And the second take was the one that like really worked. But yeah, no, it was that was the good one. And then that led in to the other scene where, because Mason didn't do that because it was assumed that he actually was hit. So like I'm nowhere to be seen, and that's how like I was shooting and covering. And then Gatsby, you tell the rest. You tell the next scene, Mace, because that was all you.
So it changed to the next scene where it was like I've been blown up by the mortar or whatever they're called. And I was like laying on the ground, and I had like this really like super realistic fucking like makeup done, and it was like fake guts coming out of my stomach, and it was like silicon or something.
Yeah,
and they just like literally the girl like chucked it on me, and then just like poured, like she stuck it to me and shit, and then like poured all this fake blood, like coated me in it, like just like poured it like gallons. And I was just sitting there, and I was like, my back was so fucked though, because it was in like a little trench.
They dug a trench with pickaxes and dirt.
Yeah,
they literally dug a trench.
I was just like sitting there, and my neck was just the most uncomfortable. Like I was so uncomfy, but
yeah, you were shaking.
Oh, if it's for realism,
yeah,
they just needed to get that realistic shot of you actually being in
my body was
pain
like
and suffering.
shaking from just being in that position. But it looked, I mean, it added to the realism. So,
dude, you look fucking shell shocked. You had like the dead eyes. You were like looking right past Gatsby. Like because he did this thing. Like they had a bunch of smoke. Like he was pretending like there were bullets going over. Like he crawls through the dirt, and he goes to Mason, and he takes out a cigarette and he puts it in Mason's mouth, and they filled Mason's mouth with fake blood, and then they put it in his mouth, and he coughed up blood, and the cigarette came out, and then he picked it up and put it back in his mouth, and like, he was like, talk to me, and he's like screaming towards the sky. There were so many good shots.
Yeah. And then
I cannot wait to see how that all comes out.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, by the end of it, like, well, I just like ripped my guts out.
Like,
yeah,
it was like, that's a wrap, and everyone's clapping.
Yeah,
and he rips it out, and he starts twirling, and he's like,
swinging around.
That
took a massive bite out of it.
Wait, surely when you were swinging it around, like blood was splattering everywhere, though, no? Or
it was dry by then. It was like
dry.
25. It was like 20, 25 minutes, like to do that. The rest of the shoot there.
Yeah, but I got some really good photos out of it. My mate Andre was taking some, and fucking they came out like heaps good. So
nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, what an exciting experience. Like, you've never done anything like that before, right?
This is the first time that we've ever done anything like in terms of a shoot that was at that level of like professionalism. It was Zach is the director. I think his ad on Instagram is directed by Zach with a ZAC. But yeah, he's fucking incredible. The team that he put together, because it wasn't like a professional like company or anything. I think these were people that he had met from like previous experience. It was like a ragtag team, but everybody knew what they were doing. Everyone was professional. Everyone knew like the protocol for everything. And it was so streamlined. Yeah. Like in between scenes where they were setting up different scenes, and like it was like the same area, they take shit down and put it up in 10 minutes. It was fucking insane to watch. And they were all good guys. They were all really funny.
It was very good vibes on set. Yeah, the song that the music video was for is unreleased, but of course we'll let you know when the song and the music video drop. It's called "Let Me In" by Gatsby. I don't even know if that's supposed to be known or not, but I'm sure that it's coming out. I don't know. I would say before Christmas, but I don't want to put any deadline.
Well, there's no deadline that exists, but he's hoping before the end of the year.
Yeah, coming out soon, and I'll stick with that.
I'm so hyped, dude. I'm really hyped to see how it turns out with like the SFX and the VFX and all the post production.
It's a great song too.
It is a good
great
song. It's a slapper.
Genuine. Listen to it a lot on set. It's genuinely very catchy. So very very excited for our boy Gatsby. He's done well. Little cool experience. Hey,
so cool.
Very cool. It was very enjoyable.
What the fuck? what else is new? You know,
I bought a Prius
Toby, what have you been up to,
yesterday.
Matt?
What a Prius.
You bought a
Prius.
A Prius.
Toyota Prius.
You're moving into the Uber market, are you?
Yeah, I've decided I want to become an Uber driver because, man, this is really not working out.
Not working, is it?
Yeah,
No, not at all. Have you had any passengers yet?
Yep, one woman.
One woman.
Her name was Kathleen.
Kathleen.
Yep. Funnily
nice?
enough, she lives next door. Picked her up.
Oh.
I was like, cars across the road. Let's hop in. Just gonna go throw some clothes on because I was streaming, so naturally naked.
Naked.
Yep.
On all fours. Had to scurry out of that position.
Yeah. I was on my campsite. I jumped out. Started doing. I'm pretty desperate for money at this point, guys. So I kind of have a finger in every market and every hole. But so yeah, I jumped into the Uber, took her for a spin. She rated me 3.5 stars, which I mean that's above average. It's above half. So
it's not amazing though, is it?
Above average.
You must have done something wrong.
Well,
to get 3.5.
Well, it's
5 is just courtesy, really. If it's a normal ride,
yeah, but, I mean 2.5 should be your standard run. So 3.5, that's a step up.
I don't. You actually rate Ubers just based on how you
one is
authentically felt
bad,
in the experience.
2 is I didn't like that. 2.5, it's okay. This was nothing special. 3, it's like they tried a bit. 4 is okay. This is getting good. And 5 stars is when it says you're getting picked up in a Prius, but you actually get picked up in a helicopter or something.
So in order for you to rate someone
or a Supra. Yeah.
In order for you to rate someone 5 stars, they actually have to earn it. Like it's not just a default thing for you. It's you actually have to be impressed.
Yeah.
By
If I don't
journey.
climax, there's no 5 stars.
Right. And what does it normally take for you to climax? Just quick acceleration? Or
honestly, someone telling me they respect me, or that my opinions are valued, just stuff like that. Yeah.
You're not going to find that here. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I know. That's why I don't rate us 5 stars.
Every single day, a new 1-star review is left by Toby.
Yeah,
destroying
exactly.
Like, no, you didn't buy a Prius. What car?
No, I bought a Toyota Supra,
recently?
a new one. A lot of people don't like the new Supra, but I don't give a fuck. It's cool.
Looks nice.
It's nice. It's red.
It's red. It's
which means it's at least a little faster.
It's just a bright red sports car. It's very me. It's loud and obnoxious. It's low. People look at it. It's like exactly what I've wanted for a long time.
Just something that people would look at me and.
Well, it's because ever since I was a little kid, whenever I would see like a cool car, it would like make my day. Like whenever I saw a cool car driving down the road or heard it or something, like looking at it, like, oh my God, that's so sick. And I've like always wanted to be able to give that experience to other people. So this is like my first car that's kind of getting into that area. Like obviously it's not like super crazy, but it's a car that, is pretty rare and uncommon.
It's a proper sports car.
Fun. Yeah. But I like
Matt's
texted Matt yesterday and I said, hey, I got an appointment where I'm going for a test drive of a new car at 4:00. Do you want to come meet me there? And then I got there and he was like, we were talking for a bit and he goes, how long are they letting us test drive it for? And I just go, forever, mate. Like, I'm just taking it. And ended up buying the car. I told Sam I was getting new wheels for my Golf. Showed up to his house. I was like, here are the new wheels.
What did Sam say?
Yeah, but
you got to ride with the man.
No, I've already driven one before, but
yeah.
Wait, what was Sam's reaction though?
He was pogging. He was stoked for me. He loves that car, so he's wanted one for a bit as well. I think.
Am I nuts or does Sam have a Supra himself?
No, Sam's got a BRZ.
He's got a BRZ.
Yeah. So the BRZ is like the entry level one, I guess, and then the Supra is like the more sporty one.
Right.
But
what level is the Prius?
The Prius is top level.
Top.
Yeah, that's a hybrid.
Why it was so
ridiculous
for you to
like,
even
have
2 engines. About getting one.
Good for the environment.
Yeah. But the only reason I got it, basically, I was talking to someone and they're like, man, with COVID, you can get such good deals on shit at the moment. Because obviously, you know, to stop a recession, everyone wants everyone to be spending as much money as they can. So I was like, oh, maybe this is a great time to just look into getting a car loan. And I came across a Supra that had like pretty much 0% interest rate.
Don't try and make it seem like you were doing this for the benefit of the economy.
No. That wasn't what I was saying.
Like, well, you know, the world's in a recession right now, so I thought, you know, how can I help?
No.
I'll get a new car.
I wasn't saying that I was doing it to help the economy. I was saying that's why the interest rate was so low. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, like in like banks and shit, like you can get mortgages for like 0% right now. It's insane.
I've bought several homes.
Yeah. So I was like, I saw a Supra for like pretty much 0% interest, which basically means you pay the same amount you would normally pay, except you pay it over as long as you like. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get massive loan for like 4 years, and then I'm gonna pay it off as I can. So I'm gonna.
It's guaranteed.
Pardon?
It's guaranteed the interest won't go up.
You can't. Yeah, they're not allowed to change it. Yeah. So like. Basically, it's just a 4-year loan, and because you're allowed to pay more whenever you want, it means that I can hopefully pay it off quicker than that, which is why I just went for the longest one possible, you know, just for safety. But yeah, so I am now, this is the first time I've ever been in debt for anything. I've never had a loan before, and now I'm in crippling debt.
Nice.
But last night,
anything
Matt
for
and
the
I went
economy.
Very
cruise. Anything for the economy, exactly. But
a worthy sacrifice.
Matt and Ryan's little brother and we went out for a cruise down by the beach.
Hell yeah.
And there was a lot of other cars there. It was actually really cool. It was like a Friday night. It was warm. There was heaps of really cool cars just cruising up and down the beach, like beside the beach. It was like a really nice, fun vibe.
What's the verdict on the car, Matt, as our resident car expert? Like, you fuck with it?
Oh yeah, dude, the fucking Mark V was fucking sick.
Sick. Was it dope riding in it? Like, does it sound good? Like,
He hasn't been in it, actually.
Oh, I drove the one that Sam rented in LA once. That one sounded really nice.
Oh,
yours sounds really good, even like in stock form. Sounds so good.
Well, Toby, maybe you and I can go for a cruise and pick up some sexy women. Sometime.
Yeah, it's a two-seater, so they'll have to sit on our laps.
Oh, it's ideal, isn't it, mate?
I know. You could probably fit someone in the trunk.
Well,
even more ideal,
isn't it, mate? Yeah. Then you don't have to talk to them.
Yeah, exactly.
But then I got home last night after going for a cruise with those two, and my friend Buys, and a couple other friends, who's a content creator, that they were doing a thing where I gave them a budget, and I was like, hey, here's some money, go buy me Christmas presents with the stream. And so they went live on my channel and hung out with my chat and bought a bunch of like Christmas presents off Amazon for me that I'm going to open on Christmas to do a big stream.
Good ones. There were some really good ones. There were ones that the guy that I want. Like, it was pretty fucking good.
Sick. So yeah, I told them go for like a mix of like some stuff that's useful to stream with, like Lego kits and stuff. There was a fun stream, and then some stuff that's just pure meme, and then some stuff that's actually cool. And they bought 80 items off eBay. And yeah, it's gonna be cool to see.
Do you know what they are? Like, did you peek at the stream? Or
no, that was why I was out. I specifically went out so that I wouldn't do that.
So you're gonna keep it a secret until the opening day.
Yeah, and so basically from now until Christmas, there's just gonna be a bunch of boxes showing up at my house.
Well, that's nice. You know, there's nothing like a good hit of package arriving dopamine in the morning. You know?
But someone in my chat was like, "Hey Toby, you got a new car? Can I come take photos of it?" And I was like, who are you? And then I realized it was the person that had filmed the Misfits party. And he had also been to a couple of our parties. His name's Hamish. And he was like, come let me take photos of the car. I was like, fuck it. Sure, I'll go right now. Because I'm the kind of person that I'm not good at planning things. I don't like planning things in advance because then I'm like, what if I don't want to do it on that day? So I'm like, if you want to do something,
several pregnancies, you know, that's...
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, if you want to do something with me, fucking, we're doing it like today. So he was like, let me take photos of your car, and this was at midnight. And I was like, I'll do it right now if you want. And he was like, okay, sure, come pick me up. So I
Cool.
drove to his house at midnight, and we went to a few locations and took some cool photos. We took some like photos on like running photos and stuff. It was a lot of fun. We went to Chinatown and like parked up in the middle of this really cool Chinese like square, and that was really cool because it was like so late at night that there was no one there. So we're just like, fuck it, let's drive the car in there, and got some really cool photos.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. So I'm guessing we can expect plenty of car porn coming out of your
So much
Instagram.
car porn. So much car porn.
Do you plan on streaming in the car at all, or what?
Yeah, I want to figure out how to do that.
Probably just become an Uber driver, like you said earlier. I know we were kidding around, but that would be the best content, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd be a terrible Uber driver. I hate people. So
Yeah, but those are also the best Uber drivers because they
That's
don't
true.
say anything. Yeah.
Matt's
But you
been-
also
Matt's
you do
been-
tend to get violent too. So
yeah.
Matt's been having a go at streaming on his bike, right? With the whole backpack setup.
Oh yeah, we got one of those like the IRL streaming bags from Twitch, which are like they're good for like walking around with, but you like have to make a few mods to get to work with what we're doing with like the bikes and shit. But
because you're going so fast, you mean like it cuts out? Or
no, I mean like the signal, like it's only running on two. So I feel like I'm getting too technical into it. But yeah, I just stream on the bike. I don't know how to explain it.
you do what Two Mad does and just yell at people.
Fucking yell.
Have you seen his bike streams where he rides an actual bicycle?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I was
just
thinking of doing that in
street.
Melbourne. Like go out late at night on like the weekends and see like what weird creatures you can find like near the bars and shit.
You definitely find content because there's always just plenty of blokes just out in the street being loud.
Just
and,
fucking puking.
Just walk up, press E to interact, see what you get. Yeah, just make a Munt compilation. See how many hunts you can find munting in an alleyway.
Oh.
I'm probably being one of them.
You'd probably be.
We went out a
Just
couple
make
nights
like
ago,
a-
right, Fitz? Out into town.
We went out.
Not for long
Oh, we
though.
did.
I get this.
Well,
it was like 11 o'clock, and I get this text from Gatsby, and he's like, "Come to a bar. Come to GG Easy." And I assumed that he thought I was going to say no, because whenever someone asks me to go to a bar or something, I always say no because I'm an asshole, and because
Yeah.
I don't drink. But I told myself this year that I was going to be more social, so I was like, "Fuck it, yeah, I'll come." And then I get there, and when I'm in the Uber, I like Google it, and I was like, this bar's closed today. Do you guys know that? And he was like, yeah, no, Chad, anything for views. He like asked the bartender to open it for us. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. It'd be a nice little like chill hangout. And then I get there, and they're like, oh yeah, but we have to leave in half an hour because the bartender doesn't want to be up too late. So I was like, oh, I came all this way for half an hour.
Yeah.
Which was, but it was still fun though.
Yeah, we the night did proceed from that point on as well. You could have stuck around, although I think that the energy might have been a little too chaotic.
It was
for
very
liking that,
chaotic.
based on the van ride home. I mean, not too much happened at the bar. Like I arrived after you, and people were pretty fucky from a dinner that they had.
Yeah, they were already wasted.
They were already wasted. So I arrived, just immediately started sinking shots, trying to catch up with everyone. Had a couple chats. Before you know it, we're leaving the bar. We all climb into the van. And there's got to be like, how many people in that van? 20,
It's
20?
like a 6-seater
25
van, and there
people?
was like 20 people in it. Yeah.
No, there was
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, there
in
was.
that squashed
And there
up
were
in that van.
The van's huge, Mason.
two seats at the front, 4 seats at the back, little seats, and the rest of the van is just open, like
Yeah.
back of the van, and there was one big bean bag at the back.
Maybe like
And
15.
you and I, Toby, sit down,
Yeah.
in the bean bag, and then I think Packett and Gatsby and just everyone who was there just starts piling in.
And
And it's
filling
just the
up
most
the van.
chaotic. Just we're only driving like 10 minutes to a different place, but there was just so much screaming. One person who I might not name just to protect their identity was just being belligerently racist for comedic purposes, just screaming at the top of their lungs, just like the most foul shit. Obviously not meaning any of it, but they were just blackout drunk
Yeah.
and just trying to get a rise out of anyone. Gatsby starts like choking them out and like right next to me on the beanbag, like, obviously mostly just a joke, but it was definitely like quite an intense energy.
Yeah.
Every time I get in that van and I'm not in a seat, I just think like this might be the time that I die.
Yeah.
Have to make my peace with that every single time. But thankfully, I didn't die. At least I was one of the people that survived. Toby was too.
I cannot hang out with people that drunk.